we recording now? Oh, okay. It's Bonsai Movie Crew with Matt and
Joseph
and Karen.
I wanted to go with a little different.
Something different.
Something different.
Come on down.
So, okay, that's the intro. And we're right in the news.
News. I don't have any. I do. I have
Really?
one thing.
I seen the Megan trailer.
Did you
Did you
finally
finally
watch
watch
it?
TV.
Yeah.
How'd you
Watch
feel
it
about
on
the
YouTube.
dancing?
They didn't have a lot of the dancing scenes. I don't like it. I don't like AI and robots and stuff. I don't care for it.
Get you out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like the whole AI thing. I've really not. I haven't seen the dance, and I don't want to.
You probably.
It's
no.
kind of creepy.
I don't want to see the movie. So.
I do.
I
wanna see
do.
it.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
Of course you guys do. You got different taste in movies.
Yeah, I
than
know.
I do have a little bit of Avatar news.
Nobody cares.
I know, but fucking James Cameron at it again. No, I don't know.
That's
He's,
Oh, what did he say? Estrogen's toxic now.
You might as well go there. Right?
Estrogen's toxic now. No. So Avatar: The Way of the Water hits 1 billion at global box
I
office.
saw that.
So
it's, doing
it's
really
been in.
well.
It's been in for 2 weeks now. So it says right here, proving naysayers wrong. Director James Cameron's Avatar: Way of the Water has shot past the coveted 1 billion mark at the global box office in just under 2 weeks of release. Although it opened in a handful of international markets some days prior to its stateside debut. With more than 300 million domestically and approximately over 700 million from overseas markets, the long-awaited science fiction sequel has now become the third film of 2022 to make more than 1 billion at the worldwide box office and sixth fastest ever hit that total. Hit that total.
I think that's funny because what it comes down to really is it doesn't matter how much money the movie makes. A lot of crap movies make a lot of money.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't know.
You telling me how much it makes doesn't mean anything.
The other way, a lot of movies that didn't do well turn out to be like really good movies.
Well, Cody went and watched it, and she said she really liked it. So, but other than that, we're gonna move on. I do have other news. Sorry. So Marvel announced.
You're a liar.
I know. I forgot about this one.
This is also his thing, so he should have more.
Marvel announced a Stan Lee documentary coming to Disney Plus in 2023. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I'll just go ahead and read it to you. On what would have been the comic book writer's 100th birthday, Marvel announces a surprise Stan Lee documentary coming to Disney Plus next year. I'm not going to read the whole thing, It just essentially describes what he's done, but that's awesome. I don't care much for Disney or Disney Plus, but I will watch that for Stan Lee because Stan Lee is the man. That's why he's called Stan the. Oh my God! About to get stabbed.
I just wanted to see the daggers that would come out of your eyes.
Stan the Man Lee, man, I fucking love that dude. There is
For
a trailer.
For a brief second, he didn't know who I was.
Yeah, like who the fuck are you? So I don't know if you guys. I don't know how long this trailer's been out, but actually I don't know if I just forgot about it or if it's new. I don't remember. It's called The Mother. It's an action flick with Jennifer Lopez. It looks like a higher budget movie, but I don't know. It says in her new action flick, Jennifer Lopez is one badass mom. So I don't know. It looks dope. I'll watch it.
I
like Jennifer Lopez though, so a lot of people are like, I don't like her. I'm like, why?
Is
What's
she
wrong
the
with
one
Jennifer
that's
Lopez?
Also called J-Lo?
Yeah, it's J-Lo. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez.
Mm.
Before she was a singer, she was an actress.
Yeah.
So and
I loved her in Anaconda.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't tell anybody. I since we don't do a podcast at my house anymore, so we do it above my buddy's garage because it's quiet up here.
I was gonna tell him we were in a big old building with thousands of
Yeah, we run an office building.
No.
It's just us.
He lets us do it up here for free. If he didn't, then well, we'd still be doing it at my house. But because I don't come up here but once a week to do the podcast, I wasn't gonna put a bonsai tree up here, so I found one at Walmart. It was a Lego set, and it looks baller as shit. I don't care what anybody says. I like my Lego bonsai tree. Yeah, so
It's the
because if you
simple
came to my house and be
things.
like, holy shit, this guy really does like bonsai trees.
What happened to the good old Legos that were just squares and stuff? No, look at this.
Look, there's square bond.
Be careful now; those things spill out of there.
There's squares.
Hey,
See?
it's not a toy.
I'm not trying to play. I was trying to
It's
show
Lego.
him. There's. It's not a toy. There's squares. See?
There's lots of squares. It
Yeah.
took me a minute to do that.
Legos just aren't like they used to be, though. You remember my day? I remember my day. Me and my brother.
In your day?
Yeah, in my day. Me and my brother used to make little toy guns out of Legos.
They,
Oh, yeah.
They used to have the sets when we
You-
were kids too. Our
You
parents
had
were
to
just
build
too poor
houses.
to buy 'em.
Yeah, you had
Like,
to
we
bu-
just-
you
we
built
just had
houses,
Legos.
and it was multicolored.
Yeah, it
You
was
had like
whatever
green,
Legos you
red,
had.
blue, brown,
And then
all
you,
the
you
colors.
went to build the roof, and you stacked,
You had
and
to
then by the
stack the
time you
brick,
got to
yeah.
the top, it fell in, and
Yeah,
you were like,
yeah.
"Son of a!"
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or your brother would come by and kick it like a fuck.
like a fuck.
Sorry, old
Me and
memories.
my brother never did that.
I had two
We
older
usually
brothers.
just did stuff to,
No, me and
They
Eric,
were assholes.
Eric
I
was
was the
younger
older
than me,
brother.
so we usually got along pretty well.
No, but yeah. So because we don't have, I can't bring a bonsai tree up here because it would die.
Yeah.
So I made one out of Legos, and now we have a bonsai tree up here. Yeah. So anyway,
I think
That's
it's
news
fun.
too.
that is
I
news.
think it's
That's
funny
good
how
news.
He's like, oh, I made it out of, like he did it on his own. No, I know for a fact you did not just buy some Legos and make a bonsai tree.
No, it's definitely a set. It was a bonsai
Yeah.
set.
So technically, you didn't create it.
I followed directions.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, see, I would be more impressed if you had just taken regular old Legos and made a bonsai tree of your own.
Probably. Yeah, I'd be impressed too. I think that if
But
I were
I'm
to
just
do
gonna
something
go
like
out there
that,
and say that
I
I don't
probably
think
wouldn't be
any
doing a
Legos
podcast
would
about
come,
movies.
I don't think any Legos would come with flowers.
You
That
could still do stuff like that because it always
actually, them
comes with
flowers, like it actually has two. Like you can take, it's a set where you could either do the leaves or you can do like white branches with flowers. I didn't want the white branches because
No, I'm just saying that I don't think that there's any Legos out there that are flowers. So even if you
Yes,
tried to
I'm
make a
saying-
Right.
bonsai
But what I'm
tree,
saying, yes, but it,
I get
it
what
could
you're
be it could be like it wouldn't be like this, but it would be your own creation, and you could use the one little ones to represent flowers. They don't have to actually look like flowers.
okay.
well, fuck you guys. I'm proud of my bonsai tree.
Oh fuck you guys! I'm on your side with this. I like your bonsai tree.
Fucking mad over here.
I just like causing chaos.
Yeah.
Anarchy in the UK.
Anarchy in the UK. All right. Believe that's all the news that that's all the news I have. Back to you, Matt. Back to you in the station.
Okay. Now it's what we've been watching. I've watched some stuff this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Ernest Saves Christmas because Christmas.
Right. Was it as amazing as you remember?
It was so much better than I remember because when I was little, I got tired of seeing it, and then I watched it, and I was like, I'm going to order it because now I want to watch it every Christmas.
Make it part of your tradition.
Yeah, and then it was a YouTube video though. I've been really into Jim Varney, and it was called The Misadventures of Bubba. And what it is Jim Varney, and he was himself, but he was it was for a thing called Young Bucks, and it was hunting. It was like teaching kids about hunting and stuff, and it was like safety tips. Well, then he was doing this guy where it was Bubba. He was playing a role who was bad with all the tips and stuff, and he'd do it, and then he'd be like, "This is what Bubba don't do," and and so it was fun.
What?
It was a video that he did on how like hunting safety.
That's funny.
It was good.
Just the way you like.
And then I watched.
It sounds like very 90s.
Yeah.
You know how they all had like
his hat was bright pink. And
Oh,
it said Young Bucks on it.
Young Bucks.
That's good.
But then I watched San Andreas, the one with the Rock
Oh yeah.
in California,
Yeah.
splitting, and I watched that because I've been wanting to see that for a while because I thought it was a good idea. Of course, when I ever heard about, hey, did you hear they're making a movie called San Andreas? The first time I heard about like the video game.
That's kind of what I thought too. I'm like, the game, and it's got the Rock in it.
I just heard they were making a movie called San Andreas, and I was like, the game?
The game would have been, if they made an adaptation of the game with The Rock in it, that would have been way cooler.
Yeah, I agree. I would watch
Way
that.
cooler.
But yeah, it was a good movie. Of course, I have this weird fascination when I was a kid. Movies with like stuff happening in them, like the day before, like what was that one where all that stuff happened, and like a flood, and the day after tomorrow.
Oh.
Day After Tomorrow, yeah.
That would have scared the crap out of me as a kid. Any natural disaster movie would have scared the crap out of me
2012,
as a kid. But yeah,
Day After Tomorrow.
But any more now, dude.
They
I
all kind
love.
of came out at the same time.
They did
too,
too.
didn't they?
Well, Day After Tomorrow was kind of the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow was.
That one was actually critically received pretty well.
Funny side note, Dennis Quaid played Jake Gyllenhaal's dad in
Yeah.
that movie, but they shared like no screen time together because like
I mean,
the
a
dad
little
would-
bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not much though.
But they did another movie together like recently, and they were sitting there and they were talking. It was an interview.
What movie was it? I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
can't remember
Because
but
he was like, I've never met this guy
yeah,
before
he
in
was
my
like,
life.
yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal was like, I've never even met this guy before this movie.
Yeah, there was-
and
what movie
and they were
was
like,
that?
yeah, I don't know. But they were
remember
like,
either.
well, he played your dad in The Day After Tomorrow, and he was like, he did.
He's like, what? He did?
It
I
was
think
really
I seen
funny.
that part of the interview. Like,
It was
he
really
like, what?
funny.
Oh yeah.
Jake
Oh,
Gyllenhaal.
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's actually. I think he seems like a pretty cool dude.
Oh, I would love to meet him. I bet he's funny.
He
But-
seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I liked the San Andreas movie, and like it was a good movie, but there were some things where I was like, well, I want to be sad that it happened, because I told Karen, I've gotten to this point where people die in a movie, like I'm like, oh, because people are dying,
Yeah, right.
but I was kind of like, oh, with the
Depends
stuff
on
people
who it
di-
is for me.
But
I agree
was,
there.
But I was like, it sucks because I was watching. I was like, it sucks. It's happened to all these people. If it really happened, that would suck. But also, I don't know how to feel because it's California.
Well,
Jeez.
there goes all our California listeners. All 2 of them.
Actually, we can look at the stats for that. 'Cause they're-
But it was like San Francisco, and then I'm also the kind of guy that was. They're like, oh, it's going to San Francisco, and I was like, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh well.
Matthew.
Well, I'm sorry, but Sodom and Gomorrah, California, and New York.
Okay. I don't know. There's just cities to me with people in them.
But no, I'm pretty sure there are good people in California and New York. But I'm just saying, they don't show those on TV.
He's not wrong, though. He is not wrong. They don't show them people on TV.
Well, it's like
Everybody else, all them people are like, dude, what the fuck? Why do you keep getting these assholes on the TV to
come on.
represent our state?
Yeah, like,
well,
okay.
come on. Well, did you see that
I've
thing
been to
about
New
the
York,
city
though.
food town thing?
I've been to New York.
Well, it's
The
kind of like
ratio.
it's kind of like whenever they represent Ohio on TV.
Yeah,
they would
I
show
agree.
corn farmers. What
Yeah.
the fuck? I'm
Well-
not a fucking corn
Well,
farmer.
I agree.
My sister went to New York, and she said that her boyfriend actually almost got into a fight with a guy because this guy was taking pictures of my sister without her knowing. She was underage at the time.
Oh,
It's not great.
where? New York?
New York.
Oh, I bet it's not. No.
The,
And
the
then-
ratio of good to bad is
No, I'm
just
sure it's outweighed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
And you can't blame just the people, because I think it's also the media outlets that do it. Because, okay, like that thing that happened at Sydney Food Town. Okay, I said something. What they do is they go to these towns and they're like, get a person who witnessed it. Make sure it's the person that has teeth missing, is drunk at noon.
yeah. Find the most
Unreliable person.
Well, they always find like the most
Trashiest person.
Well, what is it like the race the profiled like
oh,
the
yeah.
the one that everybody goes, oh, that's Sydney right there. Pick that guy.
Yeah.
No.
How about you pick the nice old lady that lives next to the store?
Right, like
Who has that big
No,
nice
like,
house there?
They picked a person. I didn't see the person, but they picked a person to talk to at the store who was like, he wasn't the best looking guy, and he wasn't even there.
I don't know. I'm just here cashing my disability check or my Social Security check. You know, because I ain't got me no bank account. That's ridiculous.
I don't want the government tracking.
I don't need the government tracking my funds.
I don't want the government tracking the Social Security check that they give to me every month.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't need them knowing what I do with my funds, okay?
No, just let you guys know you are in the presence of a Social Security.
No. My point is those people,
the people that
are the ones that are going, I don't want them tracking me. But their money is coming from the government. Yeah. That's my point. Not that they're getting a Social Security check.
Did you hear that?
I think we're diving too much into
Yes,
this.
we are. We're going too far in the wrong direction.
Is sending a whole bunch of money to to Pakistan for gender equality.
Hey, good for them, man.
No, because
go ahead and throw some more money.
They're sitting here. Yeah, they're saying, oh, but in 2023 and 2034. Social Security is going to be close to being dried up, and a lot of people are going to get out, not be able to. We're going to have to bring this stuff. Yet we keep giving money to Pakistan for gender equality. That's not part of their religion. They're not going to change.
You're not wrong.
I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's continue.
But yeah, San Andreas, good movie. Okay.
So, off the wall.
Great segue, man. San Andreas, great movie. Fuck California though.
In particular.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying there's probably some good people there.
I'm sure.
And they got I mean, why not? They got the redwood forest. Those things are cool as heck.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
Me too. Yeah, there's some places I would like to go in California. Not many.
Upstate.
Probably
upstate.
Upstate, like Yosemite and all that, like in that.
And I don't like the fact that they're getting fires every year, but I think maybe they should take a hint. You know.
Maybe you should just cut them down.
No, I'm talking about.
I'm just joking.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
Because we might have California listeners. Just making sure. We're not saying you're bad people. We're just saying you don't live in the best place.
I love all of you.
Joseph,
yes, lots of love.
What have you watched, Joseph?
I didn't watch much of anything this week. The only movie I watched was I watched Point Break with my mom because she loves Point Break. We were over there for Christmas. We were over there for Christmas dinner, and I was like scrolling through Netflix. I was like, these movies suck. I was like, oh, here's Point Break. She's like, yeah, that's good. So we watched that.
I like Point Break.
Yeah,
that's the one with Keanu Reeves and who else?
Patrick Swayze.
Then they rob a bank, but he won't shoot them. One of them's a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
Johnny
seen it.
Utah, the most made up fucking
I know,
name
dude.
ever in movie.
Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah.
He's a lawyer from Ohio.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a lawyer from Ohio. And he played for OSU, which I think was actually true that he'd actually played for OSU.
Yeah. And he really did fuck up his knee. And
shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. I love that movie. It's classic. But other than that, I didn't watch anything. It? Yeah, it was terrible.
I never watched it.
I will honestly
It's forgettable.
I've never seen the original. But I was also watching the Goldbergs today, and there's a show that talks about like the 80s. And I also realized that I haven't seen Risky Business, and I should probably also try to watch that.
I have not seen Risky Business either.
I've seen it. It's good.
You've seen the part where he like slides in his underwear. I think that's all you need to know. I'm pretty sure.
There's a lot more to it than that, but
I'm pretty sure I've lived my whole life. I think that's
all
you need
to know. He pretty much becomes a pimp. Like becomes a pimp.
I've gathered that. That's what I'm saying. I think that's all you need to know.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It's a good movie. It's funny, and honestly, there's some serious subject matter there, and it can be a little dark in certain points of the movie, but it's a good movie. It's good. But
okay, so that's all you watched this week?
That's literally all I watched.
That is weird, Joseph.
I didn't watch. Well, I've been busy. We had 4 Christmases this week to go to, and
I guess just because I went to my sister's Christmas. The only thing they had on TV was that U-Log thing.
Yeah, we didn't do much. We hung out at the house. We did go to the mall, and I picked up.
I don't know why that's funny to me.
What's so funny, Karen?
I don't know. I don't know. You said the only thing they had on TV was that Yule log thing, and that just cracked me up. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
She said, "Oh, we were laughing." I'm like, why is that funny?
I don't know. I'm just imagining, like, it. To me, it would be really funny if the TV was nowhere near a fireplace. Like, you just got this random TV that's just playing a fire.
No, they didn't have a fireplace. So
It'd been funnier if the TV was in the fireplace doing that. Yeah.
they didn't have a fireplace on this floor. I think they have a fireplace on the bottom floor.
So they were jealous, so they put it on their TV.
No, the bottom floor is all the bottom floor actually has a lot of stuff in it right now because they're redoing their kitchen.
Well, hopefully that fire doesn't catch everything on fire. The real fire's in the basement. Anyway, so we were at the mall and
Joseph, just I love you, but sometimes I really just like don't want to talk to you.
what the fuck, dude?
Sometimes fuck you, man.
Yeah. Sometimes just I don't know, fuck off. What the fuck, Matt? He's like, man, I love you, but sometimes I just don't want to talk to you. All right.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's ways you feel. That's how you feel about me sometimes. Like, well, I just don't want to talk to Matt today.
No,
I just don't feel like he's gonna say anything important.
I've never felt that way. I've never felt that way.
Well, then I'm sorry.
What an asshole. I see where I fucking stand here.
No, I love you, man, but there's just sometimes where you start talking about something that I was talking about. Let me tell you, I just want to be like, Joseph, shut up.
Oh God,
I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. There's days I want myself to shut up. You know? So
there's just sometimes where I talk to you and I feel that you need to be told to stop.
Really, because my wife would beg to differ, dude. She's the one who's like, he doesn't say enough. What are you talking about?
Technically, we all need to be told to shut up sometimes. So I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Oh no, there's plenty of times where people should just go, Matt, stop.
So anyway, I was at the mall and I picked up
which mall?
The Fairfield Mall in Beaver Creek.
God, I haven't been there in a long time.
It's the best mall we have around here.
It is.
But we went to FYE and Suncoast and all that, and I have the first Child's Play movie, and I wanted the rest, and I found them all for $10 a piece, except for Curse and
They don't count.
Cult of Chucky. No, don't count. Fuck, they're better than goddamn Seed of Chucky. That movie sucked assholes.
You don't count those either,
for
do you?
$10 a piece, isn't that like $100 almost or something? And they're like almost 9 or 10 of them.
No. There's well, I had the first one, so I needed 2, 3, 4, which is Bride of Chucky, and then Seed of Chucky. So, $40.
Yeah, there are a lot less. Than
I wouldn't call those part of the collection. I call them.
I don't either. Like the only ones I care about are the first 3.
Yeah, the first 3. That's all I think I own.
Then why even buy the rest of them?
Just to have the collection. I gotta find the other.
He's a completionist. Remember, he doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, I'll never Seed of Chucky. I'll never watch it because I don't like that fucking movie.
I just burn it.
Yeah, well, I've got to have it. It's there. Will I watch it? No. It'll be a brand new disc until the end of time.
Or one day you'll just watch it because you want to see something stupid.
Maybe. Or somebody else will be like, oh, man, you got Seed of Chucky. Can I borrow that? Yes. And if you don't return it, or you just bring the case back without the disc, I won't be upset.
I just need it to go in that slot.
Yeah, it's got to fill that. It's got to fill that void right there.
That's kind of like the Freddy movies. Like I have the VHS and I have the DVD, and they have like the picture.
Yeah.
I wouldn't own 2 if it wasn't part of his arm. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly. I've got the same collection. So, the DVD set is his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't own 2 either.
I have.
Yeah, or the special feature. I give fuck less about that special features disc.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's got to be there to complete his body.
I have the VHS and I have the DVD sets, and if I didn't have that disc, it wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
I have all the Freddy movies, but mine isn't in one of the. It's not a picture of him. It's just all the movies in a box.
These were like collectors.
Yeah, see, I got Freddy. This is how much I hate the difference between Freddy and Jason for me. I love Freddy to where I have his box. I still have his DVD box set. I don't even own DVDs anymore.
Yeah, that I won't. I'll never get rid of the VHS.
But I have the Blu-rays of fucking Friday the 13th, but it's not like a special set. It's just all of them in one box.
Jeremiah bought the special Friday the 13th.
I just don't like Friday the 13th.
I don't either. But they're
what am
so
I supposed
boring.
To do? I couldn't even get through a whole one. I'm like, these movies are dumb.
I haven't watched, but I've seen the first one. in the second one.
You haven't watched them all?
No.
I don't blame you.
See, there was a point.
I have to though at some point
Yeah, probably.
because I can't hate on something that I've not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they're boring.
I saw
man. They're hard to
Jason
get
X.
through.
Jason X was kind of great just because it was
It was
so
just
bad.
fun.
Yeah, like
Well,
it's fun.
Jason Takes Manhattan ain't that bad. That everybody bashes on that one, but honestly, it's one of the better ones because it's on a boat. It's not even at Crystal Lake.
Yeah,
Well,
it
Jason
doesn't-
X-
It's not that bad of an episode.
I didn't think it was
Jason
that
X
bad.
has like one of the best death scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Which one?
When he grabs that dude's head or
Oh, the
that
girl,
chick's head,
yeah,
and
and
he puts
freezes it?
Yeah,
That-
freezes
that's
it,
one of
pulls
the
it
best
out,
kills.
and smashes it.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
And it's like the first kill of the movie too.
Yeah.
You know, I got a box. It's not like a special box set, but I think it's got Freddy. I mean, it's got Jason from Friday the 13th all the way to I think 4 or 5. And I got that because there was a point where, man, I was just straight up nothing but horror movies for a little while. It was like when I was hanging out with Tabitha, it was nothing but horror movies for me
Right.
for some reason. I don't know what, it just hit that. Then, like, now I'm dead with horror movies. I'm just, like, not really into them. But, yeah, I got a whole bunch of different ones, and I got Freddy and Jason. I always kind of liked Freddy because I think he's more with it come. No, it's like
damn.
it's a character, but I feel he's one of the ones that does the most creative stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's more with him.
See,
I like him.
I didn't tell you, I also picked up Reservoir Dogs Special Edition 4K
Oh, yeah.
Blu-ray,
Yeah.
4K disc or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never seen that
Reservoir
movie.
Dogs.
it's very good.
It's very good.
I know you guys have gotten on me for not.
Yeah, you should probably.
So,
watch
because
it.
I was kind of like, I was there, I was like, I need to add some more to my movie collection. And I was like, I need all the Tarantino movies. I have most of them. I think there's only like 2 or 3 that I don't own.
I think we don't. I think the only ones we don't have are the newer ones, like Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood.
Yeah, and
Hateful Eight.
no, I think we have that one.
What's the one where I
think.
forgot what it's called? I think it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Dawn Before Dusk.
Dusk
From
Before
Dusk
Dawn.
Till
Dusk
Dawn.
Before Dawn. I got that.
That's a Robert Rodriguez movie, but he helped write it and shit.
My friend gave me that,
And he's also
he had
in
an
it. He
extra
stars
copy.
in it.
Yeah.
He gave me an extra copy of it.
Fucking
That's a great
weirdo in that
fucking movie, though.
It's a great fucking movie. He's a fucking
But yeah,
weirdo.
Quentin Tarantino plays a massive weirdo in that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move
He's a
on.
weirdo in life too. Anyway.
He is kind of weird. I love him to death. He's a great director, but he is weird.
Well, most of the good or like what you'd consider genius or whatever, they've got something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess I did watch something else. I watched a couple of episodes of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
How is that?
The first 2 episodes, well, I watched the one episode called Lot 30 something or another. I don't remember the name of it. But it's about a storage unit.
Oh, okay.
And it gets pretty crazy pretty fast at the end. And then the other one was Graveyard Rats. And that one was a little claustrophobic.
Ooh.
But it was good. It was good. Because it takes place back in, like, I think, like the 1920s or something.
All right.
So,
All
but
right.
yeah, they were good so far. And I love Guillermo del Toro's movies, man. I fucking
too.
love his movies.
I loved The Orphanage. Oh, that was heartbreaking, but I loved it.
Oh, my favorite movie of his is Shape Out of Water. Or The Shape of Water.
I haven't seen that one
Oh
yet.
my god, it's so good. So good.
I guess I'll have to watch it.
More recommendations. All right, I'm done. That's it.
Okay, Karen, what did you watch this week?
Strap in, because I'm still not back at work yet.
It's like I've watched a lot of shit. I've had some time.
Yeah. So I watched the Don't Fuck with Cats.
Oh, what'd you think?
I did watch it. I was good.
Did you
It
like
was
it?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Matt? Did you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah, you watched.
Yeah,
it.
he watched it. He watched it
I was
last
talking
week.
about last
And I
week.
told you I meant to watch it the week before,
Yeah.
but I never got around to it. So I watched it. It was all right. I don't know. I felt like some of it was kind of duh. Like,
Right,
Also,
yeah.
did you feel that the killer's mom was a retard?
You are stupid.
like when they kept talking about, even from the very beginning, like when his lawyer first said, like when he walked in and he was like, "Oh, you look like Michael Douglas," and then he was bringing up that other guy that was supposedly beating him up. I'm like, nobody else saw this movie.
I didn't see.
Like,
Right,
I mean,
right.
like, I'm sitting here like, nobody caught this before.
Well, see,
You guys are fucking idiots.
I've never seen Basic Instinct, but I didn't catch it right. I didn't catch it, but when he said the guy, I always figured that guy's not real. It's somebody he made up in his head.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah,
he was
but I've
trying to
never
set
seen
it
Basic,
up from
yeah.
the beginning, like,
Yeah.
and he was trying to play his own movie, like. And
I mean,
I
but-
couldn't
but
believe
of
that
all movies-
nobody figured that
But
out.
of all movies to like be obsessed with Basic Instinct?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
well, okay. The only thing I can say about that is that in its time, that was amazing.
that was like, yeah. But I think it had a lot more to do with what's her name's the fucking what's her name? The actress.
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone's crotch being the crotch shot.
Gratuitous beaver shot.
Yeah. Which, by the way, come on, that's gross.
I've like I said, I never saw it.
It was funny.
but
She didn't even know that happened until.
Oh yeah, she
After.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'd never seen Basic Instinct, but I didn't know, but I had a feeling that he was making up the guy. I didn't think the guy actually ever existed.
What killed me was that like so many people were involved in this case, and so many people were just like blind to his games. I don't, like anyway.
It's sad that it took a bunch of fucking cat freaks on the internet to like
Yeah.
call this dude out. Like, hey.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
they tried to warn everybody. They tried to, here's our evidence, and everybody's like, oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Listen to the crazy cat lady. I'm telling you.
Well, no, they weren't. It wasn't even that they were crazy. Like they had evidence.
Yeah.
And like everybody's just like, oh no, it's fine. Are you kidding me?
Right.
It's because it was. I think it was because they didn't care at first because it was just animals.
Well, it was also
No,
over
he
international
literally-
waters.
Well, yeah, but they literally had that one video where he said, "I'm gonna kill someone." That's conspiracy,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
That's enough to go and find his ass. I'm just saying. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. Then we watched that elevator movie that he was talking about. Yeah, that was that great. Yeah.
See, I told you it's not a bad movie.
It's
It's
not.
just a weird story.
Yeah, he's right. It's so weak. Like it gets struck by lightning, which apparently means that this guy who was killed because of some kind of conspiracy is now like possessing the elevator, but at the same time it's also because of these chips that they've manufactured that have like organic material that can come alive. It's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, because she said it, she was like, "Is it going to be another 10-10?" I was like, it wasn't bad. It was just a strange story.
It's one of those movies that they can't quite figure out the story either.
Right.
Like
right.
as the movie goes on, you're like, okay, all right, I can get behind that. And then they go, no, that's not what's happening. This is all right, okay. So then I'll get behind that.
Yeah.
And then they go, no, we're going back to okay, all right, we're back over here again. It was just
So we're not gonna write any of that other stuff out, though, right?
yeah, and it never really fleshed everything out, and then at the end you were left with
More answers than more questions than answers.
no, it answered enough at least for you to go, okay, well that was something.
What'd you think?
That was a movie.
What'd you think about the scene where the elevator shoots the guy out on the rollerblades?
I laughed, and I laughed because of the way you described it. If I had been watching it without your description, I don't know if I would have laughed. But the way he come flying out of there, and like everybody's just sitting there, and then just. I wouldn't have, I guess, watched it with that eye, but like when he came out of that elevator and everybody just, oh, that's happening.
There goes Fred.
It was, yeah, and then he lands right in front of his friend. Like, that's so serendipitous. Like, that would never happen in real life. His other friend that he's like rollerblading with, he lands right in front of him, and it's not even realistic. You know how like nowadays they try to actually follow gravity and how a body would land and how it would splat. Like, this dude just like lands like a dummy would. You know what I mean? Like, it just lands. There's no splat. There's no blood that shoots up.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, there's blood, but it's just kind of meh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this dummy lands and the guy's like, and it was just so, I don't know. Anyway, watch it.
10 out of 10?
No. No, I can't even do that.
Like I said, like I told her, I didn't think it was going to be a 10 out of 10 because even the story, that's the whole thing that like I was like, okay, this could be a good movie, but the story is so screwed up.
Yeah, they get like a bad movie can get a 10 out of 10 just because they don't mean for it to be anything but.
Bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these people were trying for something. I just don't think they knew what they were trying
Kind
for.
of like The Room.
Yeah, but
They were trying.
that's a 10 out of 10 though.
See,
because
they
so
were
bad.
they were trying with that movie and failed horribly.
Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it, but that's this. It's not a 10 out of 10 because
I can also see that a bad movie like could get a 10 out of a 10 because what I would say is it wasn't like, say it's supposed to be a horror movie, but it ends up being more funny than horror. I can see, well then yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 because it's funny. It's just not a horror. It's just it changes genres.
Right.
Yeah,
that's how
that's good. We watched Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which I've always wanted to see a Steve Martin flick, and Michael Caine. That was amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's a classic. It's one of those movies that if you are a fan of either one, or if you're a fan of Steve Martin and his kind of older work, which I am. It's one of those things that everybody says, oh, you need to watch this movie, blah, blah, blah. Well, I saw it was leaving. I think it was HBO Max or something. So I was like, oh, I guess I have to watch it. So it was good. I watched The Hangover 3 because I've been putting that off because I hated the second one.
I haven't seen those movies since they came out.
I really hated the second one, so I didn't want to see the third one. But I was kind of like in this mood to watch a comedy.
John Goodman's in the third one, isn't he?
Yeah. I was kind of in the mood to watch a comedy, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. So watched it. I liked it.
I didn't think any of them were bad.
I didn't like. Well, I have this thing. I think that I get less mature as I age, because like when I was like a kid, I hated Beavis and Butthead. Like when I was like 12, 13.
I agree. Yeah,
I hated them.
I know.
And then I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Like I'm, my.
You're
20s
finding that
and
shit to be more funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm apparently, I guess I'm getting older and finding stuff that I thought was funny when I was young dumb.
That's how it's supposed
Like
to work. I'm having the opposite problem.
Yeah, I'm the same way though. I have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
I have Hangover 1, 2, and 3, and they're in my pile of get rid of.
Yeah. Then we watched a movie called Let's Kill Ward's Wife. And it's exactly what
I think I've heard of that.
That
movie.
is great. It has a lot of people that I really like. Turk from Scrubs, Donald Faison.
Yeah.
He plays Ward, and his wife is a real bitch. And so everybody's, like, oh, let's kill her. And it kind of happens by accident, but not. And she gets killed by another guy that was in Scrubs, but I cannot for the life of me remember his real name. Scott Foley. And he wrote and directed the movie.
Who's Scott Foley?
He played one of Elliot's boyfriends in Scrubs. I can't remember his name in the show.
I'm sure if I saw him, I might.
You
know.
would.
The name
know
sounds
him.
familiar.
On Hulu for Scrubs, did they go farther into the future and make more Scrubs?
No.
They did a spin-off of a new crew of Scrubs.
That was just one a season.
But that was like
9.
one season. I think it flopped. I know it had Dave Franco in it.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Okay,
that was season 9. It was just one season.
Okay.
I think it kind of flopped hard.
It did. It
was
was
like,
not good.
We're not going to do this no more.
But anyway, Let's Kill Ward's Wife. It was pretty good. The ending was kind of one of those where it's like, we don't know how to end this. But the rest of the movie was really good.
Yeah.
I had watched Christmas Vacation because I watch it every year. And I watched A Christmas Story because I watch it every year. And then I watched A Christmas Story Christmas, which was the one that was just made here recently. And that was really good, actually.
I keep hearing that it was.
It was. The only thing I really hated, if you guys are going to watch it, the only thing I really hated was the mom. And it wasn't because it was a different actress. They wrote the mom really badly.
Did they?
Yeah. Like, the mom in the first one is, good. Like, she's, and I don't mean just like good, like a good-hearted, good, she's a good mom. She's good, in general.
Right.
And in this, she's kind of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't understand, like, why did you change her so drastically?
Right.
Like, she's not, that wasn't her.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily the actress. It was more the way that they wrote her. And Randy, I didn't like what they did with his character. But I think
Randy's the
little brother.
Little brother.
Yeah, I think that had more to do with the guy who plays him, not because like he's a jerk or anything. I think it was more like he's not done anything since Christmas Story, so I'm gathering that he didn't want to do this, but because it was such a big deal to people and all that, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. But like,
it's the same kid.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it was
Yeah.
also the same guy who played
Yeah, they all
boy.
came. They
Yeah.
all. The only one
I
that
saw
didn't
the-
come back was the mom. Yeah,
I heard that it was supposed to be mostly the original cast.
yeah, it was all the original cast except for the mom.
I like when they do that if they can do it well.
Yeah. And they did great. It wasn't even a cash grab. It's very good. I recommend it to anybody that likes the first one.
They do that a lot lately. Like they do that. They did it like they're doing it with Cobra Kai, bringing back a lot of the original cast members from all the movies, which is cool if they can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've come to realize that I think that what's his face, the guy who plays Danny, Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
He's not a good actor. He's not a good actor at all. And neither is the guy who plays Johnny Lawrence. He's not a good actor either.
No.
But I mean, I love them in the show, but they're just not good actors.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you like the first one, because I'm a huge fan. The second one's good. You should probably give it a shot. I just didn't like those two characters. How they.
I'll probably watch like
how they did
I'm
it.
past Christmas movies at this point. I'm done with Christmas movies. It'll have to be next year.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
no.
how I feel about it. Like Christmas movies are during Christmas. That's
Yeah.
it.
Sure. No. Go
So-
nuts. I'm just saying, like, I watched it. I went into it with the same attitude I had for Hocus Pocus 2,
Yeah.
where I was like,
yeah.
well, I gotta watch it, but I don't have high hopes. This is gonna be terrible.
And it doesn't have to exist after I watch
yeah, it doesn't
this.
have to exist after I watch it. No,
Yeah.
I liked it. I probably won't watch it every year,
Right,
but it was
yeah.
good.
It was good. I heard it pulls on the heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, because the first one was just strictly funny. It was funny.
Yeah, well, I don't like heartstring movies in general. If I want to
do.
cry, then
I do. I like them a little bit. Like
there's enough crying in real life. I don't want to watch something and make me
you're
cry.
just sitting at home crying all day, Karen.
No,
Like,
I'm just saying, like, there's enough sadness in the world. Why do I want to do that for my entertainment?
It's not. I don't watch movies for that reason. I don't. They pull my heartstrings in a good way. Like, make me feel like
something because you don't feel anything.
Make
You
me feel
heartless
like
bastard.
it's so good and happy that it brings a few tears. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that's good. Like, I've watched a couple movies like that recently where it's just a good, wholesome, happy ending, and I'm like, huh, that
I
really got me
originally
there.
didn't like the storyline because I felt like, oh, why'd they have to do it that way? But I think now that I've had time to reflect on it, it was the right way.
Right.
But anyway, Kick-Ass 2, because I've never seen it.
Never seen that one. Not as good as the first.
They're
They
both
never
pretty-
are, but they were good. I liked it.
The second one was okay.
Then I watched Hangover 2 again just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And I
didn't
was.
watch this, right?
I was crazy because it was funny the second time. Like the second time I
yeah.
watched it, I was like, "This is hilarious," but it still goes 1, 3, 2. And then Free Guy because I hadn't seen it. It was good.
I liked it. Yeah, it was good.
It Chapter 2 because I hadn't seen it. Tacoma Fire FD. You guys seen this? Is the guys from Super
I think
Troopers? Two of the
I've heard
two of the guys
about
from
it.
Super.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I've heard
funny.
about it.
I've heard about
I've only
it.
seen a couple episodes, but it's pretty funny. Then yesterday was Jeremiah and I's anniversary, so we watched the first movie that we watched together. We do it every year. It's called My Demon Lover. It's a bad movie. He let me pick the first movie we ever watched together, so I picked a bad movie because I wanted to make sure he was in it for the long haul.
Just making sure you're in it to win it, man.
Yep. So I picked a bad one because it's one of my favorite movies, and we watch it every year. He loves it. Postal because I'd never seen it. That's great. That's
Which
a
one is
Uwe
that?
Boll movie, and it's
Who's in it?
Zach Ward. He's really the only name I can think of.
Postal.
Oh,
Why
and
do I know
Dave
this-
Foley's in it.
Why do I know this fucking movie?
It was based on a video game. It was based on the Postal video games.
Which is a horrible game.
Yeah,
Banned
it's
in
a
lot of
horror, and
places.
the movie is just as ridiculous
I've
and
never
horrible.
watched the movie. I didn't even know they had a movie.
Yeah, it's Uwe Boll, so nobody watched it, and because he's terrible, he's fucking terrible. You watch any of his movies, he's awful. He's the worst director in the world, and that's why I never watched it. But the thing about it is, Postal's so nuts that like you can't fuck it up.
right.
Like you can't fuck it up, and he did. I mean, it's what they call it is an accidental masterpiece. 100%. It's great.
Yeah.
And lastly, we watched The Willies. It was a movie from our childhood. We bought it on DVD
I've
because
heard of that. I mean, it's a horror movie, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, as much as a
I think I've heard of that
kid
movie. Yeah.
movie can be, but we both remembered it from our childhood, and we
Right.
were talking about it one day, and we found it on DVD and
Huh.
bought it. That's it. That's all I watched. I mean, that's a lot, but
It is a lot.
I
Jesus.
told you I haven't been back to work yet.
Okay, so that's out of that, and now we talk about the movie. The movie that it was my pick because everybody knows I'm leaving.
Would you recommend?
Oh, would I recommend it? Yes, to a certain group.
Yeah.
There's like a certain crowd that I would recommend it to. There with the recommended, it's there's a certain amount. There's like a certain people you'd have to say, hey, check this out too.
Well, first of all, what was it called?
Damnation Alley.
We didn't say that.
The plot synopsis, and then would we recommend?
Right.
Sorry.
I'm saying.
I'm
you know.
see, I was trying to do
Yeah,
that.
Sorry,
Joseph,
man.
that's what I'm
Push me
saying,
through.
Joseph.
I thought it was the thing. You know, fuck it. I'm not here.
He look. Intro to movie,
Yeah.
which means you usually say the title. You go into a few details. You don't just jump in and start talking about it.
Yeah.
Now I know why he wants me to shut up.
Yeah.
Go
want you
on,
to
Matt,
talk.
before you were
But-
so rudely interrupted.
The movie was called Damnation Alley, and so far it's the oldest movie that has been picked
Yeah.
yeah.
because it was 1977.
Our
Oh,
first-
1959 we did.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
I would say it would
forgot
be the
about
oldest movie as a standalone. Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
oldest standalone movie
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
that don't have a remake, but if did, I would totally watch it.
I actually wanted to touch on
I
that.
would
but-
love to see a remake of this, actually.
but let's talk about the plot synopsis first.
Yeah,
I got it.
because if I remember, the plot synopsis was insane.
Following World War III, 4 survivors at a desert military installation attempt to drive across the desolate wasteland of America to Albany, where they hope more survivors are living, using a specially built vehicle to protect themselves against the freakish weather, mutated plant and animal life, and other dangers encountered along the way.
Yes, but like I said, with me, I would watch it again, and like we just said, it would be cool if they made a remake, because using the same vehicle, because I know that vehicle still exists because I've seen videos of it recently, and also not only that, it's called the Landmaster, and it's probably one of my favorite post-apocalyptic vehicles, besides the war rig from Fury Road. I like the war rig in Fury Road.
Right.
But yeah, I would suggest it, but it would be to certain people like that, or people into our older movies and post-apocalyptic movies and stuff. Oh, what do you think, Joseph?
Well, I would not recommend to most people. I would say if you're into older movies and things like that, then yeah, I would recommend. You're like, yeah, check it out, you know. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I would recommend to a certain demographic. Like if you're into older 70s movies or even post-apocalyptic movies, or anything like that, then yeah, I would recommend it to you. But aside from that, no, probably not. Probably wouldn't recommend it.
Would you watch it again?
No, probably not. No, I don't think I would.
Karen, I hope you're giving me good news.
I
Hold on, I want to say one thing. It wasn't as bad as I thought, because I was really dreading this movie.
You sounded real happy about it.
I did
when
at first,
told you
but then
about it.
I was like looking at it, and I'm like, God damn it.
You ever notice if it's not his pick, he always hates it.
That's not
No, I
true.
didn't notice that. Well, I've also noticed that if it's my pick,
I was
it
excited
usually
about
gets a high
Gremlins. I was
rating.
excited about Scrooged.
Yeah, only the Christmas movies.
So, not the point.
Yeah, I've also noticed that with mine, if it's my pick, it gets a higher rating. I think it's because, you know, it's I forget what it's called. Well, I've been picking movies that I've seen and know that I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big thing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the point, I guess. But,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Matt's like, what the fuck?
But I would recommend it, but not for the same reasons you would, into a certain demographic. And that demographic of people would be the same ones that, like, you know, watch the Joe Bob stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's campy, and there's things that happen that you're just like, what the hell? Or, you know what I mean? Like, things that...
See, I guess that's kind of like the B movies that I like, the ones that are campy
Yeah,
and stuff.
there's so much B-rated stuff that happen, and I blame the budget cuts. I blame, there's a lot of things that I think this movie, this movie would have been better. It would have been more serious. It would have been exactly what they were going for in action. And what they came out on the other side with is not what they were going for. I
have
know
a
that.
lot of notes on this movie. I haven't been taking a lot of notes on movies here lately. I take like half a page. I think I've got a page and a half on this one.
I got very few notes.
Just over a page and a half on this one. So
I've
got a lot of notes on this one.
But I'm just saying that, the only reason that I think I would recommend it is, again, for that same demographic of people that, for me, like that B-rated goodness, you want to talk about the campiness of it. You want to talk about, did you notice that this happened? And, but again, I don't think that that's what they were going for. And I feel terrible for the actors.
Knowing
they, I watched a few interviews just because I was interested in what the actors had to say.
Yeah.
And especially the guy that played the
major.
The major, yeah. Like, he really was pissed. Like, because
he looked like he was an older guy, and I'm sure that he was probably thinking like, this is going to be big deal,
like,
you know?
Like you can't.
That's like what a lot of people said is they thought it got a bad rating because it came out the same time as Star Wars.
Well, it's not just that. Like, I think I actually have this in trivia, but I can talk about it now since we're on the subject.
Yeah, they took money.
But I think I don't remember where it is in here, but they actually cut, like, I want to say a good hour of this movie.
Because to me it felt it needed more time.
Yeah, like they cut
a little rushed.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Real rushed.
Most of the crew was upset after the film's release. In 1979, George Peppard said, "I thought we had a very good film. Jack Smite directed it, then they totally re-edited the film. It's no longer the film Jack created. All of the good stuff is out. Now it's just a Trek story about this landmaster with purple skies." They cut 44 minutes of this movie, and most of the production team felt that the cuts ruined the movie. That makes sense.
Well, see, that's what I said, because I
mean, that's almost an hour of content that
there's a lot of character flaws in this movie. There's a lot of story plot flaws and a lot of things. I could see where they cut a lot of that stuff.
And that's my point, is that I don't think that the movie is really to blame for what we saw.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I said, I liked it, but the end did kill it for me.
Oh,
I did not like it.
It was so anticlimactic.
Okay.
Like,
did you guys notice this? This killed me. I think, okay. The very end when the major's on the phone with that on the talkie thing.
Yeah.
Did you notice he had a southern accent?
No, I didn't.
He did not have a southern accent in the rest of the movie. And I made that comment to Jeremiah, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I rewound it to like the middle of the movie, and we watched, like a part of the middle of the movie again, and then we went back to the end, and he was like, "Oh, Jesus!" Like, it's noticeable.
Okay,
I'm telling you, he has a southern accent talking to that chick on the thing, but in the middle of the movie, he doesn't. There's no accent at all.
Yeah,
why?
I didn't know.
I don't know. But it was startling to me because I was like, did he have an accent before? I don't remember him having an accent.
Yeah, but like I said, the end killed it for me, because the end. So it's like, New York wasn't bombed.
That the ending to me really, really bothered me, because it did get bombed.
But
they show the map several times of these rockets coming in, because they even specifically stated 60% of those rockets made it through.
Yeah.
Which means they were only able to stop 40% of the rockets.
Yeah.
For one, I want to know where the fuck they came from, because they came from the north, and I bet Canada was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But I didn't understand where the rockets were coming from, for one. Like, were we being bombed by Santa? But yeah, whenever they got to Albany, I'm just like, so this place is completely untouched?
Yeah. Like there's green grass, and then they get to it, and it's like the area isn't tore up at all.
Yeah.
And I know that they were foreshadowing, and I knew exactly how this was going to go down when they foreshadowed it. Like, oh, well, maybe the Earth will go back to normal on its own. And I was like, of course it will. Yeah, because that's exactly how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I hated that they did that,
I did
Because
too.
I was like, what the fuck?
thought that was
we just have a really
I felt
bad
like that-
storm and
Yeah,
everything's back to normal.
I felt like that was a
Yeah.
cop out.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and I love the bathtub scene. Like that little bathtub toy that just pops up out. You guys?
oh yeah.
Like, I was like-
of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know it's
I
the
know, it's low
1970s,
budget,
so I
and-
tried
but-
to go with it, but it was so
Yeah.
obvious. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, did you notice at the beginning? Because when I watched the movie the first time, this was the first time I watched it. But what really made me decide it is when he throws the girl off the bike.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, okay, I gotta watch this with the group because I think, and you can clearly tell before he throws the girl that is a real girl.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, that
Yeah.
is definitely a
'Cause
female in the
she's
back
holding
there.
it on
yeah.
to her,
And then he
and
like throws her off, and I'm like, dude.
That's exactly what I thought when I was watching it, and then I was like, "Oh no, they're gonna play it off like it was a dummy or something," but it clearly was not.
And then it was just a blow up doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw it the first time that happened, I was like, oh, we got to. I was like, I'm not watching this. I got to do it for the group.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because yeah.
Oh, and I just have to say, so
Those
you guys
scorpions
watched
look,
it on?
Those scorpions look legit as fuck.
Hey, those scorpions were bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
They actually were real scorpions, super.
Yeah, I know, they were like imposed
Yeah.
into the reel or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, dude.
But like, you guys probably watched the same one I did because it was on YouTube, right? So it
Yeah.
had Joe Bob at the beginning.
Yeah.
No,
You didn't see
yeah.
the Joe
no,
Bob?
I watched the 720 Blu-ray version
Oh, okay.
of it.
Wait, you spent money on it?
Yes,
How much did you? Oh, okay.
yes, I did. I spent
Yes,
money on this.
He did. Okay, so
I-
you'll
I
know what
spent
I'm
money on
talking
the
about.
VPN.
You know how he said that there were no breasts in the movie? He lied. There was 2 sets. I saw
didn't
them.
see that. He
There
said
were
breast, but
there was
are-
boobage,
yeah,
There was
in
2
the
sets
movie.
of boobs in the movie, so he
Yes.
lied at the very beginning.
which was very weird. It was very odd because I'm like they show like the nudie mags, and I'm like, oh, really? You know what I mean? Like because they had to have gotten an R rating just for that reason. Because there
No,
wasn't a lot.
not back then. Back then,
It
they-
wasn't. I don't think it was. Like,
Yeah,
as
the
big of a
R-
deal.
Yeah, the R rating was more because of the war, like the
fear
violence. Yeah, the
factor.
fear factor, the
Yeah.
violence.
Did you notice that at the beginning when they showed the rocket launcher, nobody had any emotion?
You know, I
Like the rockets coming.
I
in,
think
nobody had
I want to
any
say I want to
emotion.
point one thing out, and I want to say this because I'm sure you guys are going to agree with me. For 2 things about this. For one, they killed the black dude off in a very shitty way.
I agree.
That was he was the best
angry about
character
that.
of the
Yes.
fucking movie, and then they killed him off. But then what really irritated me was his buddy came back and didn't give a shit.
That's
Didn't
yes,
say a
I wrote
fucking-
that down
and that
too.
had to have been edited out. I guess you said you lost 44 minutes of movie. That had to have been in there.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Because
I think
I'm
I
like,
didn't write
dude,
it
there's
down,
no way
but-
he's just gonna come back and like, oh, what? Like he doesn't even acknowledge it. You know what I mean? He doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
I felt the same way. He was the best damn character, and they fucking killed him off, and they
He
killed
was
him
the
off
only
in such
one-
a terrible way.
Yeah, and he was the only one who had any kind of like moral compass. You know what I mean? He was the one that was like, you know, maybe it's not so bad. He was always like the uplifting one, and like
Well,
the guy
like-
who was like had higher spirits about shit.
Well, yeah, and like the one line that I felt like was like the only line in the movie that was even said that I thought like, oh, like kind of caught me was said by him, and that's when they first get into the vehicles, and you know, he said something about, you know, the world getting destroyed,
Yeah.
and he said, you know, well that's, or you know, because they were talking about the fact that they, you know, stopped being part of the military pretty quickly.
Yeah,
him
those
and the
two
other guy.
guys
Yeah.
dropped out.
And you know, so the black guy says, well, you know, those guys are the ones that destroyed the earth. You know, we're the guys who should have been out having babies, and you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
and you know, like he,
I know what line you're talking
yeah,
about.
and I was just like,
You got a big point there.
yeah, like the way
Also,
the way he said it was.
It was
a lot
funny
better,
because
you know?
like they were talking about all the great things that this vehicle can do, and he's like, yeah. What's its gas mileage like?
Yeah,
I was like, good
I wrote-
fucking point,
I wrote
dude.
that down. I said he has got a great point about the gas, but also the gas is gonna be useless.
Yeah.
6 months. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
shelf
the one
life
thing that
of
drives
gas.
me. The Walking Dead was the same way though.
Oh yeah,
They were going
yeah.
around picking up gas and shit from gas stations. Like, dude, it's been like 4 years. You're not getting any good gas at this point.
Yeah, I mean those vehicles have been sitting there for
Yeah.
2 years, dry rotting the tires.
Uh-huh.
Gas is not going to be any good to you. They're useless.
I never understood that about post-apocalyptic movies. Unless you got like someone still distilling your gas and shit. Like
in Fury Road, they kind of explain it
a little bit, yeah.
because they got Gas Town
Yeah.
and they're making.
But like
gas.
Doomsday. Well, I guess Doomsday. I don't know how they would get their gas.
Oh, we bitched about it in that one too.
Did we?
Did we?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
we?
because I brought it up with the car. I'm like, how the fuck did they get that car running?
Yeah.
Dry rotting the tires. Gas isn't
'cause
gonna work.
They had barrels of gas.
You know,
but, yeah, I
the
didn't know that-
oil's gonna be
Corroded and, yeah.
completely.
I didn't know that gas had a shelf life.
Yeah,
gas
it's like
does
6
that.
months
Yeah.
max.
Yeah,
But
it does.
also there was one line I thought was funny, kind of funny. He comes back and the guy's like 20 minutes. What? He was mad because he like lost 20 minutes. What are you doing?
That's what I didn't understand that either.
What are you so worried about?
What-
20 minutes.
Yeah, what's he getting worked up
what
about? He
you
said
have going
something,
on?
and I think that's part of. Like you said, 44 minutes was cut. Like they had to have explained more. I did like the opening to the movie of them in the missile station,
The
in the
military,
station,
yeah.
and I liked that because it kind of like because it was like super real. It was kind of realistic for that time, and
Yeah.
it showed these two guys like. But the problem with it was like they didn't show a lot of emotion at the fact.
I
That's
wrote
what I'm
that
saying.
down.
There was no
Like,
emotion.
there was
Can you
no
imagine-
emotion there.
Can you imagine how surreal that would be, though? Like, I
Well,
don't know
even
if I would
still
have a lot
though,
of
like I
emotion.
think I'd be freaking out. Like for one, he said his wife was in Chicago. She just got blown up. He didn't seem to care that much.
I think you'd be in complete shock. I mean, like,
Maybe.
it's so surreal. Can you imagine being the guy that's like arming our missiles? You're in a room, turning a key.
Right.
You're not even. It's not like you're, pressing a button and watching a missile fly off. You're turning a key. You don't even see it
I
happening.
could see this movie being
It's so
remade. I could
surreal.
see this movie being remade by a good director, and that director taking this movie to its fullest potential. Like what this director, I don't know who directed this, but what he was trying to go for.
Jack Smite.
Show the true emotion and the true fear of what could have happened with World War III and being
Yeah, they
bombed
could have fleshed that part out, and maybe they did. Maybe
the one
they
thing
did,
I
don't
hated
know.
about it was like, oh yeah, these bombs threw off the Earth's axis.
Yeah, that was kind of. I was like,
That's kind of dumb.
Because he said that, and I was like, you know how big of an explosion that would have to be.
You could. I don't know that you can throw the Earth off its axis without bombing half of the planet.
I think that if that were scientifically sound, let's for shits and giggles say that it is.
Right.
I don't think life would exist. I don't think
No.
it would be a life-sustaining
No,
plant.
because
No, it wouldn't.
actually, our
Between the
planet-
radiation, the dust coverage, and blocking out the sun, it would be insane.
Well, literally, as life is today, right? If you were to take and tweak it just a little bit, right? Like we have just enough gravity to keep us where we are,
Yeah.
but not enough to crush us.
Well,
But
see,
you were to
that's-
tweak it just a little bit.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying
could crush us.
It's
Or
already,
we could float off into space.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's my point. You have just this delicate balance. So if it was to get knocked off the axis, that delicate balance is gone.
It's already been scientifically realized that if this planet was even just like a fraction of a size a fraction of a measurement to the size, basically our world right now is the perfect size
To sustain
harness
life,
If it was
yeah.
even just a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, there wouldn't
And
be
that's
life
what
on
I'm
this
saying.
planet.
There's a delicate balance
Yeah.
to everything we have here that
Yeah.
has created the perfect environment to sustain life. If it were knocked off its axis, you're telling that
it
delicate
would knock
balance
it
is
off
gone.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
I agree.
I mean,
Not a lot of sound science to, but it's the 70s.
yeah, I'm sure it sounded pseudo.
probably
at least
sounded pretty
then.
cool
And
back
like you
then.
said, they cut 44 minutes of
Yeah.
the movie, and I'm feeling like they cut out a lot of
Important stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like at the beginning, what I got from that was the surrealness, that absolute, this can't be happening.
So
They're
the one
seeing
thing,
it all on
the one other
screens.
thing that really bothered me was whenever the guy came back to the room and he's smoking his cigarette and his watch, looking at his nudie mags. There's a gas valve that's been left on, but they don't show why or how.
Yeah.
That's another thing that was left out. Like, so they
Also, it would have blew up when he walked in with the cigarette.
possibly, I don't know.
If there was
that's the
enough in
thing
the
is like
room
I
at
don't
that
even
point.
understand where it was even coming from. It just shows a gas valve. It's on
Yeah.
and it's leaking.
Yeah.
and then it blows up. It's like, okay, well, that explained nothing.
Well, and
like-
for a place that they kept talking about was still being run like a military base.
Yeah.
Come on, like, I mean, I guess I can understand that at some point, you know, people are going to let their guard down a little bit, but not like that.
Right.
Not on a place that's still being run.
I don't understand, like, because I even, like, I don't understand how the gas valve was left on.
Well,
yeah.
Like, that's my whole thing was when he was so mad over 20 minutes. I was like, dude, what do you got going on?
Yeah, like, right? Like, it's the end of the world, dude.
Yeah,
like, you got a date with one of them scorpions out in the middle of the fucking desert?
Well, and, like, they, you know, it killed me, too. Like, when they first brought those vehicles out, you could tell, like, it was almost like the, you know, the director, like, you know, the executives and stuff
Played
were like,
back.
we're telling the actors, like, you have to, like, sell these vehicles.
Right.
Like, let's talk about these cars.
Right.
You know, for like a solid 5 minutes after they brought these vehicles out, they were just like,
oh, and it was like
these
a big
are
spectacle,
amazing.
too.
And
They open the garage
yeah,
door, these
like-
two things roll
like,
out.
you can just tell.
and then
like,
instantly one gets rolled and it's done. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had to because there was really only
That's what I
one.
was
Right.
saying. When I heard about it, the most money was spent on these vehicles.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they didn't even, like, it was unapologetic.
Yeah.
about how great they were.
Yeah,
and
like, I mean, it was just so, like, in my face for a minute. I'm like, I hope this isn't how the whole movie is going to be because I'm tired of hearing about these
I even
cars
wrote that
already.
down. I was like, they need to spend less time in these fucking vehicles and more time out in the actual world.
And I was
and it
also-
got there. So
Yeah, it did.
eventually.
It did.
So, because I was getting ears, I was like, are you going to spend the whole time in these vehicles? Because watching the trailer, that's all I saw was these fucking vehicles.
Yeah. Well, and I'm confused, too, like, when they showed up in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
The
And
whole
they
place
first
was
met
covered in
that...
sand.
Well, they first meet that chick. Did she know them or not? Because
She didn't.
acted like she knew the major,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, so she knows him." And
Yeah.
then she runs up, she gives him a hug, she gives the black guy a hug, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna shake this guy's hand." So at first I'm like, "Okay, so she knows the two guys, but she
Yeah.
doesn't know him." And then they go back up and they're talking, and it's obvious she knows none of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "The fuck? That's the weirdest introduction
So,
I've ever seen."
I understood why she came rushing down the stairs. She was excited to see somebody.
Sure, but like you
But,
hug
like-
two of them, and then you go, "Oh, I don't."
But
like
for
you."
one thing they got wrong is this is a post-apocalyptic world where you are a woman
Yeah, that's exactly
there
what
are
I
three
thought.
men
That's exactly
who
what
probably
I thought.
hasn't seen another woman in probably a couple of years.
What I figure is they're the nice guys, you know.
I understand that, and I get that.
But
I'm
how
good-
did she know?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
did she
but
know that?
Also, the thing that really got me is, okay, later in the movie...
Because if
they
I'm
said-
a post-apocalyptic chick
Yeah.
and you walk into my house,
Fuck,
you
I'm
got
not
a
even a-
gun in your face.
Yeah, I'm not even a chick, and I would do the same thing. You ain't raping me, bitch.
So, one thing I thought was funny is they basically say later in the movie that it's been 2 years.
Right.
So this girl lived in this hotel for 2 years. How'd she get food?
Oh yeah, I know.
Everything
There's
was
there's
covered
so
in
many
sand.
Yeah.
there's so many plot points that just don't even make sense. She's in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere,
Yeah.
you know. But like that really bothered me.
She still had nice clothes, though.
She did, and she was dressed for the occasion.
She was dressed for it.
But that when she first meets them, that really bothered me. I'm like, is somebody going to explain this to me?
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah,
make
'cause,
any sense.
No, what
Like,
happened?
if she had hugged all three of
Certain
them because she was
aspects of
so
the movie-
excited to see people,
And
I would have understood
I
that.
wrote this
but
down.
she acted like she knew two of them, and then acted like, oh, you're a stranger.
Well, see, when she hugged the one guy, and the one guy, other
He even
guy was
said,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, well, apparently she
knows the major.
And then,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but then when I realized they didn't know each other, I was like, oh, maybe he was.
I guess
saying
that
it
was a
like
joke.
in
Yeah,
a
it was a
joking
joke.
way
But
because he hugged her first.
if she'd have hugged all three of them, I would have taken it as she was
Yeah.
just excited to see people. But she hugged two of them, and then, and gave the other guy a handshake.
Yeah.
So that, to me,
didn't the major
as
tell him
an
to watch out
audience,
for, didn't the major tell her to watch out for him?
as an audience member, I'm gonna go, okay.
Some of the dialogue doesn't make it like, but then I hate it because there's some dialogue in this movie that was like, that kind of resonated and was like good. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like that's some good dialogue right there.
Like
And
what that black guy said,
like with the
about
black guy
being
about the
yeah,
gas and
I
stuff.
love
Like
that.
there were a few instances with that, and I'm like, or even with the kid, with Jackie Earle Haley's kid or the character, and I'm just like, there's a lot of good dialogue, but then there's other dialogue that I'm like, what the fuck are they even talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And maybe it had made sense that they'd have left the shit in. I
like
don't know.
then there's like other shit that I'm like, what the fuck? Like the part. Okay, so the cockroaches irritated the fuck out of me. It was gross, but it
I
irritated.
have to say, like, that's an A+ in my book for originality. Who would have come up with man-eating, armor-plated cockroaches?
You know what I've realized?
I love that they were just regular cockroaches, but they're armor plated.
That's what I'm saying. Who
Like,
would
oh my
have come
God.
up with that as a movie monster?
sorry,
Come
but-
on, A+ for originality.
I wrote.
I guess.
I wrote
I
something
guess.
down about that because I've watched a lot of movies with where there and a lot of movies have cockroaches in them. Did you notice that even if they're in America, it's always the Madagascar hissing cockroaches?
Yes,
The big ones?
Because they're
Never-
the big
Yeah.
ones,
The-
and they're
yeah,
gross. And they're,
Yeah, and the only post-apocalyptic thing that I've ever seen use like American roaches is Fallout.
Oh yeah.
They use giant they say rad roaches, and they're giant roaches, and they're the American roach. And I think it's just funny that all these people are like, oh, roaches, and they're always the hissing
Those
cockroaches.
big roaches, man.
Yeah.
People aren't afraid of those like they think they are. Like, yeah, they're big, ugly bugs.
Yeah, I'd be more afraid
But,
of the
like-
little ones because like you can't like
But-
catch them or whatever.
Well,
Like,
those
you know,
big,
like
those
big ones
those
you can
big
step
ones
on.
like that, I think they're actually people actually collect those and take care of those
Yeah.
as pets and shit.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
thought about having a
So
couple as a
like,
pet at one time.
but yeah, obviously little American roaches, those are gross. You don't want them
Yeah.
in your house. But
Well, and they can scatter really quickly.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, like the
yeah.
big ones, like you could catch those.
But I mean, I guess like I just didn't like if they would have left the scorpions and the roaches out of it, I probably would have been more okay with the movie because I thought that those were kind of like
it was almost
those
like
were
they-
like those were nuclear Holocaust tropes. You know what I mean? Like
Well, I think it was. You didn't know whether to take it as a creature feature or like,
Right.
are we going?
where are you going? Like, do you
Yeah.
want this to be a serious movie or is this a fucking like post-apocalyptic creature feature?
Well, and it's almost like they.
But then
didn't-
there's only two things. There's the scorpions and the cockroaches.
That's what I was getting at. They only used it like as a plot point for some things, and
Yeah.
they never really amounted to anything.
Right.
You
And then
gotta also
and then
remember-
he's speeding around on that bike, and he treats it like I don't know. That bike really got on my nerves. Though, a
Well,
little bit,
and you know what really bothered me about the cockroach scene, right? Like he had them on his foot. They made a point to show that
And
they
then
were
he
on
went
his
into
foot.
the
He went
vehicle,
into the vehicle, and I
and
thought, oh shit, they're gonna come
they're
back
in
to
the
that.
vehicle.
And they
They
never
don't.
came back to that.
yeah, nothing.
No, he got in the vehicle and everything was fine. And I'm like, but you showed me that they were on.
I
his
had
foot.
that feeling too whenever I was watching that. I'm like, so he's gonna go in there, and they're just not gonna go anywhere with that.
Well, but like you know, as a cinephile,
Yeah.
I'm going. You showed me that for a reason.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you didn't.
Didn't.
Nope.
Nope.
like you said though, a lot of the movie was cut.
I
And I'm starting to think
hope that that's on a cutting room floor somewhere because if somebody just shot that and showed it to me for no reason, fuck you.
And the
That's
sad part
ridiculous.
is this movie. I mean, you can get it on Blu-ray, but it's never been remastered or anything other than 720. You can't find it in 1080 or a remastered version. As good as you watched it is how good it is. So
Did anybody else think that the kid was a dead shot with a rock?
I said the same thing. That kid knows how to hit somebody with a fucking rock.
I can't throw a rock and hit somebody. Like, I mean, like he had it with dead aim.
Yeah, he hit that dude in the chest twice. And then nailed that other guy in the face. I was like, damn, you are a good shot with that rock, dude. You've been out there practicing.
Dude, and like I don't know. I did think that the skies were neat.
Yeah, they were.
I thought
I
they were
really
neat,
thought
but
they did.
they definitely looked,
1970s
Bad,
technology. Calm the fuck
they
down.
did look cool. But
I
then
liked
like
it.
the
Yeah, I
storm
was
thing
like,
at
I
the
liked it
end
too.
with all the fucking
That
lights
looked
and everything.
too fake. But I
was
mean,
like,
I'm just
come on,
talking
man.
about the skies in general as the movie was going on. That was I liked it.
I like that.
thought it
I
was
like
neat
that they
looking.
sprinkled that in there to kind of show.
the world isn't
The world
like
isn't what it
we
used
are
to be,
used
yeah.
to. Yeah.
Did you notice when they got to the place to get replacement parts? First of all, it was in Detroit, so I don't think they really, like made a set. They just went to Detroit. And it was like a car graveyard, but there's that one part where the Major gets to the car, he's like, Turner, I need your help. And Turner and the kid just keep walking.
Yeah. I really
Guy's not
hated.
very-
I hated that part. I really hated it.
In the junkyard?
Yeah,
I
like-
didn't like it either.
I hated that. Okay, so they show up in this junkyard, right? And I get that.
I was,
I get
'cause
that.
I
it's
was
a
looking
plot
at the
point.
time of the movie. It's like, okay, I've got like 15 minutes left in this movie. Are you telling me this is going to be the climax of this movie?
Well, I thought, okay, I get that it's like a plot point, but like this brand new state-of-the-art vehicle that they've been doing nothing but kissing its ass the entire time, and the plot point is that it's broken, and they have to stop and fix it, and somehow they fix it in the nick of time to get back inside of it for this giant storm, and I'm like...
Which they didn't even show.
No.
They didn't even show him fixing it.
No, they didn't show him fixing it, and, you know, like, it was just... I mean, I know that the movie wasn't...
I know,
it's not Oscar-worthy, okay, but I know that was too much.
But then again, whenever you have, obviously, this writing and things like that, and you have this kind of story, but then you've got a story like Star Wars, which is a space opera with all these amazing plot points and... You know what I mean? And all this cool shit that George Lucas came up with in this story.
They also just keep taking money out of this
Well, what
movie.
I'm saying is, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're taking money from this movie to give it to a movie that they feel could be more successful. Like, a World War III movie, like, like, you guys might hate on it, but, dude,
no,
I could see why they made the decision they made.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. All of the things that I saw, all the research, everything that I read, okay, they wanted this movie to be their succeeding story, right? Like, they all talked about how this movie was going to be their 1970s best movie, that they wanted it to succeed. They didn't want Star Wars to succeed. Star Wars was a sci-fi movie, and they didn't believe in the sci-fi bullshit. They wanted this one to succeed. It was going to be the great movie. Why'd they keep taking money out of it then?
I don't know.
They're executives. They can pull the plug on a movie at any point in time, and if they wanted to pull the plug on Star Wars because they kept having problems, they would have. I don't believe for a second that they were pulling money from this movie to give to Star Wars.
That's the thing.
They may have been doing that.
So you think that they're lying about taking money from this
I think
movie?
it's a story that... No, I'm not saying that they weren't taking money from this movie to give to Star Wars, but I think that the story that, you know, this was, you know, supposed to be the big movie, and that, you know, they realized at some point that this wasn't going to do well.
Yeah.
And they realized that Star Wars was going to be the cash cow.
We got to start pulling some funds from this one because this over here is going to be our cat. Yeah, I get you.
I think that the story
I think they
is
realized
bullshit.
Something. They're like, all right, this movie's going to suck. We need to figure something out here.
It sells a story, right? Like, we didn't believe in Star Wars. You know, it's an underdog story. No, it's not.
Star Wars? No, fuck no. That movie had so much money.
Well, no, that's my point. They try to sell Star Wars like this underdog. They knew what they had.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. Because if you're an executive and you're working for whoever the fuck...
Could you imagine if this movie would have had the budget that Star Wars had, though?
Sure.
That could have been a great movie.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Because like you guys said, I think that honestly, if they remade this movie, I'd probably be kind of excited for it because
me too.
It would make for a really good movie.
I would love to see a remake of this movie because there's a lot of good.
And this is like you said, stop remaking bullshit. Start remaking.
Yeah. Here's a gem for anybody looking for a good movie to remake. Remake Damnation Alley. It's got a kick-ass.
You might have to revise a few writing. You know what I mean?
Change a few things up. Do some different things with it. Sure. But
still make it a World War III thing.
Yeah,
cool.
remake this movie and do something good with it. It's got good bones, as they say.
Yeah.
You know?
With the storm, did you notice that there was a truck that came out of nowhere? There was a truck that landed behind them.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't.
And they were the storm started, and all of a sudden a truck just
landed behind them. It was a bus or something?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's why he said they were stuck. They couldn't get out.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway because the whole fucking place flooded.
Yeah. And you know, I felt like this really bothered me too. They kept building this vehicle up, and they kept talking about how great it was and everything, but they were so uncautious with it. It's basically their lifeboat, right? It's supposed to get them from A to B, and they can't do it without this vehicle. But yet, at every turn, he's telling like Tanner, like, "Oh, why don't you take it for a spin? Go fast, drive crazy, blah, blah, blah." And then the kid, "Oh, why don't you take it for a spin? You can drive it around, go crazy."
There's a part where the major tells them to go keep it below 40, though.
Because it was broken.
Yeah.
Because it was broken.
I'm sorry.
It was because it was broken. He was like, "You hear that? That's the so-and-so. We're going to have to get that fixed."
Yeah.
He goes, "So keep it under 40.
Yeah. So,
like, damn.
I'm in that vehicle. I'm the only one driving it.
Yeah,
fuck all y'all, because like this is the lifeboat. This is getting us to where we're going.
Yeah, well, because
I didn't get that they were so uncautious with it.
It's funny because in the beginning, the major says that the only people that can drive it are authorized people. that can drive it. Yet
Yeah,
he
but in
lets
2
everybody
seconds,
drive
yeah,
it.
in 2 seconds, he's telling Tanner, "Oh, why don't you take over,
I'm
and
gonna
go
back.
fast?"
I'm gonna go back and take a nap.
He even
like,
says,
dude, you just started on the road.
Yeah, like he even says, like, "Oh, go quick." It goes quick. It drives like fat, or it drives
It'll do
fast.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I felt like they were so, uncautious, and like I
they
would
were
have
very
been
careless with it.
Yes.
So I didn't understand the point of the 3 tires until I saw what it was doing in the water.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are them tires for?
It's also for like terrain.
I could see that too. I got to think about, like, maybe it's for the terrain.
Yeah.
In case they have to travel over.
Because I thought treads would have been better.
Right.
Well, it's for like boulder terrain too,
Yeah.
because like if you're going up boulders and stuff, it can flip and get
that-
you up the boulder and stuff.
I
Like
know,
that's what
because
that's.
I've seen vehicles
Yeah.
that do that, and I understand
Yeah.
that, but I still, when it comes to vehicles like that, I always think for all-terrain treads,
Yeah.
just looks cool.
I said I called this movie Road Trip 2, not a sequel. Because they're on a road trip.
Joseph, see, that's what I mean by sometimes you just sit and talk.
It's Road Trip 2, man.
Except there was no underwear in this one.
Right. Well, it's Road Trip 2, not a sequel, post-apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
that's what I was thinking like the whole time. Like, Road Trip 2.
Wow.
Like, they're all on it. They're on a bunch. They all join the military, and it's
I
post-apocalypse.
was really hoping that you watched this with your kids and everything.
No, I watched it on my computer with my headphones. Because people were
really
coming over, and I had to hurry up and get it in yesterday because it was busy. I was like, fuck, I gotta watch this fucking movie. So I had to hurry up and get it in before my sister and her wife came over. And
This is kind of like a good and bad for me, but for a post-apocalyptic movie, not using the plot points of, like little water, little food, little, like they had just resources galore.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, they never, they're taking showers.
Yeah, they live.
They're drinking water. They're eating food.
He does specify, like, oh, now we can take a shower once a week.
Sure,
so he does specify that.
I get that,
but also one thing I didn't like. I understand because you're like, where are the resources? So how long have they been marooned in the fucking desert,
right?
In these buildings,
right.
And you know what I mean. So,
and they never talk about like how they're. Like, where is the food stored? Like, what kind of food is it? Like, they don't ever discuss those resources
they don't ever talk about where the stock of the supplies is.
Right, and I get.
And they don't
like
show
I said,
a lot of the inside of these vehicles either.
No,
like that was the weird thing. I'm like, they're all in these vehicles, but they only show the front, the cockpit. That's it. And then they show them laying in beds at some point, and that was it.
Yeah, and where did they come from?
And then the girl's in a shower.
You do see the entire thing. Do these things just like come in from somewhere?
I don't understand it either because like the girl's in a shower too at some point.
Yep.
And then you've got they're all sleeping, which okay, but then it seems like they're all sleeping.
Which those could fold down
in
maybe,
separate
I
quarters
guess.
or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But do you think they would show some kind of like long view of the inside of these things?
But they did though, because like you could see.
Just
like,
the front, though.
No, you could see from like one end to the other, like when they'd have that back end opened.
Okay, so whenever he drives in.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, okay, so where are the beds in the shower?
Exactly, that's my point.
I don't understand that. Like, that blows my mind. Like, where the fuck are...
Like, the only thing I could think of, if you're trying to make sense of it, is like the beds could probably like fold down.
Something, maybe,
sure.
yeah.
But like...
But even then, where's the shower
There's
at?
not enough room to store the food that you would need for 4 people.
Yeah.
There's
not to mention,
the
like
water and the shower.
It seems like the whole back end of
beds.
this thing is dedicated to this dude's fucking bike.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
exactly.
Like, are they all
I
just
don't know.
sleeping in this back area next to his bike?
Yeah, like taking
Just
them muffler fumes
all them fucking
in.
fumes in.
I
Like,
don't see why when the one was damaged, why I think you could have easily flipped that over and took that too. It would have been hard to flip it over.
I think
there was something wrong with it though, wasn't there? Because he was trying to get it to go, and it wouldn't go.
I don't know. He did something happened to it, but I just thought how these things are indestructible, blah blah blah. But then it flips over and they're like, oh, it's done for.
Well, it's kind of like that. What is it? That 2-minute version of Titanic.
Oh yeah.
The ship can't sink. Blah 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 blah. I
think I've seen that.
It's terrible, isn't it? But it's so funny at the same time.
I even wrote it down. I said some of the things that are said and ideas for the story had huge potential for its time.
It really did. I mean,
does.
I would love to see this remade. It has great potential. It had a lot of good plot points, a lot of things that could have been fleshed out more, you take this and turn it into like a 2-hour movie, and you really flesh out these characters.
You could honestly make it a 2.5-hour movie. I could
Absolutely.
probably, if you have the plot there and there's enough going on to keep me interested, then you could easily have a 2.5-hour movie. The thing about this is like there were times whenever it would get really stale.
Yeah.
And then, but then if they would do something cool that would pull me back in. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat, you know? Or some plot point of the movie. I'm like, that's neat. Like the fucking hobos out, or the hillbillies out in the sticks, you know? Like, come on, man. You couldn't think of a better plot device there. Something better. Like, that's, I mean, I know that it's the 70s, but at this point, you know, we've seen it so many times.
I found that entertaining just because, I don't know, it goes back to that.
The one dude's beard looked a little too well kempt for one. And
I just thought, I was thinking of like the whole like 1970s, the hills have eyes, and I was just like, okay.
As soon as I saw them guys, as soon as I saw those dudes, like, yep, that girl's gonna they're gonna try to rape that girl.
Well, absolutely, of
you know
course. What I mean, what else?
And then the boy walks in, he's like, the dude. Okay, so that boy was fucking baller as shit.
He was the only one that had any kind of like plan.
He's like, I just want another sucker. Can I get another sucker? And then he throws that rock at that dude's face. I was like, damn, that dude's got more balls than any of them.
Yeah, he's the only one that's got any plan whatsoever. Like,
that fucking kid is hardcore.
Come on,
yeah, that kid is. Yeah,
Jackie Earle Haley kicked ass.
Yeah, and I wrote this down. I was like, I don't think he's grown an inch in all these years.
Aww.
He's so short though. Jackie Earle Haley is so small.
You guys said that if I would have mentioned him, you still wouldn't have got it, but you would have known one of the actors.
Yeah.
But you would have had us going for much longer. We'd been like, if Jackie Earle Haley's in it, I can figure
this
out.
I didn't know who Jackie Earle Haley was. I'm not into those movies that he's in.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying you could have had us going for a lot longer. We would have been like,
I didn't. You guys said, he plays Rigshaw or whatever.
Rorschach.
And I started thinking about...
He was also Freddy Krueger in the remake.
We don't talk about that.
He was... Okay, well, he was also in the RoboCop remake.
But...
and he was also in Alita Battle Angel as the big robot.
Yeah.
Okay. But...
Just saying.
Going back to the one that I really noticed is... I started thinking about how Rorschach looked, and there was a part where you see him, and he's... like looking out, and he had his teeth, and I was like, "Oh, now I see it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
I even wrote that down. Jackie Earle Haley didn't grow much more after this movie.
You're so mean.
He's still the same height.
He must have been an actor for a long time because he was just a kid in that.
Yeah, he was a kid in that.
I didn't know he was a kid actor. I didn't know that he was.
I didn't
acting
either.
That long.
Like I thought he was just like a newer actor.
Yeah, so did I.
I didn't know
had no idea he did anything as a kid.
I even said he was a hell of a shot with a rock.
Yeah, he is. That's what.
And I also said that was a toy car for sure.
Dead shot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that killed me. Like I try to give old movies a fair shake as fair for special effects and things, but that one, that toy, that was a little. And then there was also, but then there were scenes of it in the water. Yeah, that's
like, scooting along. Like, why wouldn't they just do that?
And that's the problem that I had with it. Like, if you're gonna use the toy, and it's gonna look like shit the whole time, or use the footage. Like, don't go back because you're just going to make the toy look that much worse.
Even using its tires to get through the water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why wouldn't they just do that? Like,
yeah.
Like, use the fucking things that are already in the water.
Right.
Film it. Like,
right.
Throw some debris around it and film that shit. And then, bam, there you go. You got that scene you just filmed with a fucking car.
Yeah.
Like, can that look like garbage?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just made that toy look that much worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
My last note was, so just like that, Albany wasn't touched by any disasters.
Yeah, that was my big thing.
Because that was my biggest. That was probably. I was like, what the fuck? So these people are all just living in fucking suburban Albany here, and no issues.
Albany is so close to New York City.
I would have said that. That's what I said.
You know, it would have been ransacked for real.
Well, not just ransacked. Really it would have been
blown up. It would have been bombed for sure. Yeah, that's the one of the main areas, main places. That Manhattan, DC, that's all in that area. It's all getting bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like I said. It was a good movie, but the end really just destroyed it for me. It was too happy because Also, a post-apocalyptic movie. I don't care if it's not as happy as that.
I almost bet that wasn't the ending they originally
I was
wanted.
getting ready to
don't think it
ask. I
was
wonder
Because
if
I
that
bet
was the
for the
original
time
ending.
they were like, we want to do this like really dramatic ending, but they're like, yeah, but it's World War III.
I
We're
wonder
talking about
I wonder
bombs.
what the book's ending is.
That's a good. I bet it's
I
different.
didn't look that
I've been
up.
thinking about looking at the book.
I bet
seeing the
it's
book.
different.
Well, I'm sure it is. I just wonder what it is. I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it's a happy ending or like one of those like semi-happy endings where like some of the survivors make it all the way to Albany,
Yeah, like I would have.
or even if it is Albany, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
If they got there and they were like instead of like the city,
Or
that
they
you
had to
look like-
rebuild it.
Yeah,
they
like
got
they were
there
like
and
little
it was
shacks and stuff where
like they
people
got
were
there and
living
it was inhabitable,
Yeah.
but it wasn't ready to go.
Yeah,
know?
no, it was like Fallout type stuff where it's a little built city.
Yeah, like they could start, but it wasn't
Yeah.
ready yet.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
just with 2 years. But no, they didn't even there wasn't no damage. The roads weren't even damaged.
I know. Like I don't know. Like I said, I didn't look up what the book's ending was. I thought about that though. I thought, what's the difference between the book's ending and the movie's ending? There's got to be one.
I've been thinking.
Are you
about,
looking it up?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about reading the book, but my mom got me 2 books for Christmas. One's like 25 Promises by God. They're religious books, and then she got me a Time or Life that's like about Jesus. And I got to read that, and then I'm wanting to start reading the Old Testament too. I got so much reading to do. And I'm one of those people, I can't read a whole bunch of stuff at the same time because then I lose my spot.
Yeah, I can't read a lot of things at once either. Huh. Tanner isn't even really oh, the book is way more badass.
Oh, they said there was supposed to be a 2010 remake of this movie.
Listen to this. Tanner, Hell Tanner is his name,
Yeah.
is an imprisoned Hell's Angels member, offered a full pardon for his crimes in exchange for taking on a suicide mission, a precarious drive through Damnation Alley, a narrow passage relatively free of lethal radiation across a ruined America from Los Angeles to Boston as part of a convoy of 3 Landmaster vehicles attempting to deliver an urgently needed plague vaccine to survivors.
That sounds so much better.
That's
Why
what I'm
did
saying!
they do that?
What's the ending though? See, that's not even the same fucking movie. So of course the ending's not the same.
Hold on. What is the ending?
I don't know. I can't find it. Nobody wants to ruin it for me.
It says the book closes with a statue of Hell Tanner erected in Boston Common. Soon after it is placed, it is vandalized, and there is little doubt as to who has committed the defecating act. The anti-hero must remain an anti-hero. Tanner sets out for parts unknown, leaving no forwarding address. The majestic statue of Hell Tanner astride a great Harley Davidson stands on Boston Common to present what? Science fiction. Can't understand that ending. Tosses him into the car, rushes him toward the hospital. River Charles. So, I think as the book progresses, they're headed towards an area that is just better, I guess. I don't know though. Like, I think you just have to actually read the book to know.
It sounds like he gets the vaccine there.
And they kind of call him an anti-hero of sorts.
Well, yeah, because he's apparently not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the reviews on this. Which
On the book or the
movie?
Oh.
If they remake this movie, they should remake it to the book.
Yeah.
Well, they should do that with a lot of movies, and
Oh
they
my
hardly ever
god,
do.
that sounds way more badass.
Like I said, it's got 10 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes does. What do you guys think the reviewers gave it?
I bet they
The
shit all
critics
over
or
this
the-
movie.
The critics.
I bet they shit all over it.
Oh, I'm gonna say 60.
I'm gonna go lower than that. I bet it's lower.
I think it is too, but I was trying to be nice. The critics.
I bet it's way lower. I bet it's like 40s, like
Yeah,
45.
You saying 45?
Yeah.
Joseph wins is 40%.
Oh, it's even lower.
Told you.
Okay,
I just didn't-
Audience.
1,000 reviews.
I bet it's low too. I bet they shit all over this movie. It's old. It's not good. It hasn't aged well. And Rotten Tomatoes is still fairly new, especially compared to this movie. I'm gonna go.
I'm saying 55.
I bet it's around there. I bet it's lower though. I'm gonna go 50.
Karen, you said 55? Yeah, Joseph, you were closer with 34%.
Whoa!
Damn, dude.
Holy shit! I wouldn't have gone that far.
But listen,
I think the audience would have liked it more.
That's
than
what
the
I was.
critics.
I mean, because it was it's entertaining. I guess.
this was a review by the critics in July 22nd, 2022, and it says what really stinks. This film is the lackluster direction and script. The 2019. This one is a good one. It has it was made in 2012, and it's IGN DVD is what it says, and that has a picture of some guy. It says slow moving with cheesy visual effects and some nasty B movie trappings, but the story and setting are both drearily and fascinating, and performances are top notch.
I will give it that. I
The
think that
actors
they all
did do a
pretty
good
well.
job,
Another one that's short from us
except for that guy changing his accent.
says Gonzo's guilty pleasure.
Gonzo's guilty pleasure.
And then here, let me get to see if I can get to the if I remember how to do it, how to get to the people, the critics. There are only 4 fresh results, it says.
Just read a couple like bad ones.
This one just says original score 2 out of 5. That's all it says. Original
Okay.
score 1 out of 5. These are the bad ones. Like they're original 1 out of 5. They're not even given like reasons. They're just. But see, I can't find the reviews by the audience reviews. That's just the critics.
Okay. Then.
Well, all right.
But yeah.
All right, well, let's move on.
Talk about movie reviews. Okay, so it's trivia. I didn't.
Well,
take any
you didn't
trivia.
get our scores.
Oh yeah. What do you guys think? I gave it a 6 because the end. But a 6 for me for a movie this old. I liked the movie. I really did. The end was the thing that killed it for me. But I thought it was a good movie. I think it could have been better. But I also kind of went with, well, this was the visual effects in the 70s. And
Right.
even if you even watch the original Star Wars, it didn't have great visual effects. I mean, they made Jabba the Hutt, the first guy, they made him a human. He wasn't even he was just a big dude.
Right.
So you got to kind of go with it was 1977. But I think it was a good story. The story that was in the book sounds even better, though. I really want to read that. But yeah, I think it's a good movie, and I gave it a 6. Who wants to go next? Joseph? Karen?
I don't care.
Karen.
Well, I like B-rated movies, but I can't rate it big, because I joke, but
Excuse me.
so the special effects, like you said, I can't fault that.
Yeah.
I would never, but I can fault for the toy. Because they could have just used the
They could have just-
fucking
yeah, they
vehicle.
had the thing in the water.
They had
It
the
was in the
technology,
water.
quite obviously, because they did do it. But the rest of it, the skies, the way the skies looked, I thought that was so cool. Because I mean, of the technology that they had at the time, it looked really cool. I liked that. And I thought that the actors did a pretty good job, except for the major with the accent change. That one little thing bothered the shit out of me. The lady bothered me a little. I don't know why. She just seemed like she was useless. She didn't really need to be there.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't really.
She was just there to put a female in the movie.
I guess. Yeah, round it out.
Really
I didn't really care for her. She's just there. And the overall story, it should have been fleshed out so much more. It could have been such a good movie, even with the story that the studio had. Not even just talking about how much better the book story is, which we just found out. I'm talking about the story that the studio had. They could have done so much better.
You know that I think about it? You know what it reminds me of? This is the exact plot of the book. Fucking Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Only in space.
Yeah.
It's pitch black in space.
Yeah.
Wait, a vaccine?
No, not the vaccine, but just transporting a convict. It's fucking pitch black, dude. Like.
Yeah. Well, there's only really 5 original stories, and each of them are just fleshed out in different ways.
Yeah, and if you think about it, this came out before Pitch Black. So.
Well, I'm saying like this is pitch. Like Pitch Black is this.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is like even if you didn't know about the book story, because we literally just found out this story could have been fleshed out much better.
Yeah.
They could have done so much better with it. So I have to give it a 4. I'm sorry. It just.
That's like, no, that's cool. Fuck you.
Yeah. And it's not.
No, it's your guys' opinion. That's fine.
It's the studio's fault. I'm 100% throwing it at the studio, not the actors.
Scoozy.
Not the. I mean, I want to see that other hour of footage that they took out.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that would have explained a lot more, and probably I would give it a much better rating if I saw that hour of footage. But as it stands, as the movie is today, I have to go with 4. That's it.
Joseph?
Well. I went into this movie thinking I'm gonna fucking hate every bit of this movie, and I didn't. I didn't hate every bit of it. I went in with very low expectations, and I came out more satisfied than I thought I would. So, I'll give it that much. And yes, the fucking effects were god awful, even for its time. I'm sorry, even for its time, they were not that good. The scorpions looked terrible. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the cockroaches. I didn't like either of those aspects. They could have taken. Both of those things could have been left out.
A+ for originality on the cockroaches.
Whatever, man. If you think so. I just think that if they would have left those 2 things out, it would have probably boosted my opinion of this movie because.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I love the scorpions.
I didn't like
the scorpions were cool.
But this is where we come back to. It didn't know what it wanted. Was it a creature feature, or was it a fucking post-apocalyptic, fucking hellscape? You know what I mean? Like, what is it?
Well, I guess my point. I
guess, but it should have had a little more of the creatures if that's what it was doing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say is that if it's gonna have creatures, it only had 2. Like,
it had like a bunch of scorpions and a bunch of cockroaches.
Yeah,
like that was it.
Like, what about the other wildlife? What about
right?
Like,
so that was one thing. Like they were in the water. Maybe a giant fucking. I don't know. Fucking piranha tries to eat them. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Giant octopus at least.
Yeah, something. They were into octopus back then.
Yeah.
Because they were easy to do, I guess. But
some studio had one because everybody was doing that shit.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, the overall story wasn't terrible. I think it could have been. Like, I hate that this movie got cut down so much because you're right. That other 44 minutes or so of footage would have benefited this movie so much because there's a lot of things in the movie that I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then there's other areas of the movie where I'm like, man, that, like some of the dialogue and stuff really was just awesome. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? And they were saying some shit. But then they say some other shit and I'm like, you just expect the Earth axis to go back to normal? Like, it doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. But it's got its flaws and it's got its perks too. And I feel bad. And the only reason why I'm going to give it the score that I'm going to give it is because of that reason, because I think that there's potential for a good movie here. I think that this movie could have been so much better than it was, and I don't fault the people involved. I guess it's as far as like the actors and things.
It's my last show too.
I was gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. So I will give it a 5. I'll go
But that's
halfway.
that's why I'm saying like somebody remake this movie.
Remake
Please.
the movie, man, because it could honestly it deserves it. It could be a great fucking movie. It really could.
He'll take both stories and try to combine them somehow, like make it
Right,
you
like
know,
it doesn't have to be
I
just
mean-
like the book or just like the original,
Yeah.
but kind of like combine the two in some way. You know what I mean?
This
it doesn't
is
have
one
to
of
be
those
a Hell's
diamonds
Angel.
in the rough that you could literally take,
Yeah.
remake it with today's technology, and really do something good with it.
Yeah, and maybe use a little more practical because people love practical effects.
Oh,
I don't care what
absolutely.
anybody
We're
says.
talking
Yeah,
about
with
that
this movie,
last
I realized
night.
I like a lot more. I'm starting to realize I like practical effects more.
They're
than
more
anything.
fun.
Yeah.
You can tell there's more love involved with the movie. You know, it's not all CG with a green screen. And
100%.
a lot of actors complain about that nowadays, man. They complain like they take you away from it.
Yeah.
You know, how do you expect someone to hone their skill whenever they're just standing in front of a fucking green screen all day?
Yeah. Well,
So-
no, I totally get how
Yeah.
that would be.
That'd be hard. It'd
Yeah.
be difficult.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking all the fun out of wanting to be an actor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
But
don't think there's any fun in being an actor.
Oh, I bet there is, dude. I bet they have a blast on set.
Not with today's Hollywood.
Maybe
man.
not today,
No.
but back in the day, yeah, man.
Because a lot of these actors, like you can't even a lot of these actors nowadays, you can't even believe anything they say, because what they're doing
Well,
is
back
they're
back
saying,
back then though, man, actors were actors, and that was their job, and they didn't get involved in other shit.
the problem is that you've got so much social media nowadays. Everybody
Everybody has an opinion.
has a voice, and the world is much smaller.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like
it's-
these celebrities aren't going to say how they really feel. They're going to say whatever
Whatever's gonna make them look
whatever is
good.
going to keep them popular to keep the money rolling in,
Yeah.
because that's all they care about is their popularity and their image. Screw that. You got something to say it. I want to hear what you really got to say about
I
it. I don't
agree.
want to hear your bull crap because your PR told you to do this. I want to hear what you actually think.
I
Yeah.
agree. But anyway, that's my review. Give it a 5.
Okay. Well, we go on to the game.
Then we gotta do
game.
trivia.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I thought, yeah, because, okay, wait, I said trivia, and then we went back
Yeah.
to the review. Okay, yes, so Karen, how
Okay.
much you got?
I don't think there's very much actually.
I
I
felt-
read the last one because that was to me the coolest.
I kind
Was
of
about the 44 minutes that they took out because
Yeah.
I felt like that was
That
bullshit.
kind of needed to be said though, because it kind of brought a little more light
Yeah.
to what we had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
Our
kinda-
Well,
score.
and
I kind of felt bad because we watch these movies and Karen looks up all the trivia.
it's okay. I like that.
She likes
okay,
it, man.
Well, that's stuff that and sometimes I already know if it's a movie I've already seen. There's a lot of things I already know, and I write it down after the movie's over, and then I look up other things because
Yeah, see,
I
apparently-
already know all the
also, like,
trivia.
I don't mind.
do you?
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
mind.
All
I
of
felt
it.
bad,
All
but
of it. You
I
want to
like
tell me about the Landmaster then, because that's where I'm
I'll
going
let
to
you.
start.
I'll let
Oh,
you.
yes.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to
Okay.
steal your
I want
thunder.
to
Okay.
hear everything you got on the Landmaster.
Okay. Well, I'm starting there because I want to get it out of the way. I'm tired of this fucking car.
This fucking car. You like it so much. Why don't you marry it?
Hey, get me one.
Oh,
I'll drive it.
actually, no. I got to get this out of the way first. Robert Zelaney, the author of the novel, hates the fucking film version.
I bet.
Well, yeah, it's nothing like the
Nothing
book.
like his book.
Oh yeah. Well, and what they did to it was a damn travesty.
Yeah.
So the 12-wheeled Landmaster vehicle was built by Jeffries Automotive. Despite showing 2 in the film, only 1 was actually built.
I figured that.
The cost was $300,000 in 1976.
That's a lot of money in 1976.
Do you know what it
Yes.
is in today's money? I
I'm
looked
gonna
this
say it's at least $1 million or so.
Oh, I bet it's more than that.
up. Anybody want to throw out a number?
I'm gonna go.
I'm not good with.
I'm gonna
money
go 3
guessing,
mil.
so no.
$3 million?
Yeah.
I'll say.
Do
If
you
you're
want?
gonna go 3 mil.
You want to stick with your first one
I'm just gonna go.
Why are you
with
trying to
around
throw
$1
bugs in his ear?
because it's his last show.
I'm gonna go with at least $1 million.
1.5 million.
You beat me.
You were right in the. It was right in the middle though.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. If
No,
I,
because I said 3 million. And you
yeah,
said $1
but
million.
what I'm saying, well, it was half of it though. You
No,
you
half
One
of it
one
went
point
to-
five
you
is
doubled it.
half of 3.
Yeah, you doubled
You
it.
doubled it, but yeah,
Oh, I guess, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it would be $1.5 million today to build this vehicle. So it's powered by a 391 cubic foot Ford industrial engine
Oh, a Ford engine.
Ew. Do you still want it?
Ran.
Do you still want it? No wonder that first one broke down.
It's
so
still
easy.
running.
I will say, though, it's funny. The only reason I even say anything about Ford is I don't really have a problem with Ford, but I was raised behind all the Ford found on road dead stuff. You know, my dad was. Also, I'm
Fucked over rebuilt Dodge.
I'm also, when it comes to like a truck, I'm more of a Dodge guy.
I like Dodges.
Yeah.
The
I drive a
TriStar,
Chevy though.
the TriStar wheels actually worked, and they could crawl over boulders and other rough terrain. The steering mechanism for turning, I thought this was neat, was actually not achieved by turning the front wheels. So you know when you turn a car, the wheels turn. But this is the turning was actually achieved by the middle section bending.
That's
with
what
the
I
I was
hydraulic
wondering if
rams.
that's how it,
Yep.
because it looked like it was.
Because
Yeah.
there's no way that those tires could have turned. So
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
No, so in order to turn the vehicle, when they would turn the wheel, the middle of the vehicle bent.
okay,
And would
That's
turn.
why. That's why it was also like it looked like plastic
right.
in the center.
The body work was made of 3/8 inch steel plating, so it weighed over 10 tons.
Jesus Christ.
It was so tough
They
that
couldn't just go with like something lighter. You know what I mean? Like,
it was so tough that it survived a 25-foot jump during its testing with no damage.
okay.
No damage at all.
Like I said, dude, this vehicle was strong. Like a lot of the stuff that keeps popping up from like watching Damnation is a lot of stuff about the Landmaster.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like it, is because I've seen so much stuff on it.
Yeah, after filming, it sat outside Jeffrey's Automotive for over 25 years, being used occasionally for TV series or commercials. In 2005, it was purchased and restored to almost the exact condition it was for filming, but it was later vandalized while in storage. So then it was sold to Gene Winfield, a legendary automotive customizer. And as of 2019, it's still available for public viewing at his shop in Mojave, California. It's fully restored, minus the rocket launcher and machine guns from the movie.
What?
And it's also still drivable.
They took the rocket. I can't believe they took off the rockets and machine guns.
They weren't real. You know that, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were just, they were
Okay.
But
they
still.
didn't look real either.
It would have been cool to have them, because I've always thought it would be cool if I ever left. Like anybody ever said you want a military Humvee, I would want the little gun on.
Could you imagine driving that around town though? People are like, dude, that fucking dude's got rockets on his. Somebody call the cops. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think if I saw that, I'd be like, "That's cool looking." But I
maybe,
know,
but
I
you
know
know,
those are
there's going to
Nerf
be an
darts
actual.
on top of
There's
there.
going to be another Karen out there that's going to be like, we need to call the cops. He's gonna bomb the place.
I mean, when you put like Nerf darts in there or something, I mean, come on.
I'd put bottle rockets in it, because that's kind of like what they look like.
I'm just saying, Karen. There's going to be a Karen out there that's going to fucking freak out. You know that.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about that.
About Karens or about rockets?
About Karens.
No, I feel really
Other
bad
Karens
for
or-
anybody with the name Karen or Kyle, because Kyle's the boy.
Is that the boy version?
Yeah.
That's funny.
They keep changing the name for the boy. It's
Do they?
sometimes it's Kyle and sometimes it's
Because I
what's the
thought it
other
was
one?
Chad.
Chad?
At one time.
Chad
Yeah.
and yeah. They,
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
thought about it, I
Chad's
still got
not
a
the bitchy one. Chad's the dumbass douche.
oh, is that it?
Yeah,
There's
Chad's a
different
dumbass
versions for
douche.
guys.
Yeah.
The Landmaster's guidance systems that you see in the film were a Texas Instruments calculator that was next to the driver's seat
I figured that's what it was.
on the left-hand side, and a water depth finder that's ordinarily found on a fishing boat.
Yeah, the little thing.
Say it was
that
a
he
calculator?
Yeah.
I knew
That's
it.
what it was.
I was like, hold on, why are there plus and negative and...
Yeah,
Because he was-
they didn't
he
even
was-
try to hide it. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
that's a straight up calculator.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he was hitting on it, and I actually went back and looked at it. I was like, "That's a calculator."
35 plus 44. What?
what?
But yeah, I didn't write it down because I thought, no, people know that's a calculator.
I didn't write it down because I was kind of like... I had to think about it, like, was that a calculator? Like, and I didn't even, after I was
Maybe,
like,
they, maybe they
whatever.
had to add up coordinates.
Yeah,
no, it
maybe.
was actually they were trying to say that was the
The
guidance
computer.
systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he hits it, and after he tells the guy it can drive itself or something.
I bet while he was typing, like, is this a fucking calculator? in the back here? Like, you guys couldn't get something better for this?
You know, shit. The title was changed to Survival Run during re-editing and then changed back to Damnation Alley shortly before the release. I don't know why they would have dicked with the title. That's the most badass thing about this
Damnation
movie.
Alley is a pretty cool title.
I know some movies will change the name of movies or give it a different name while they're filming.
Yeah, but back then they didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and like
they didn't have to worry about leaks and
why.
shit.
But I'm just saying, like, why would they change the name at all, or even think about changing the name? The name was the coolest thing about this movie.
Yeah, survival run. That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Well, Star Wars, when they were filming it, so people wouldn't show up. It was called Blue Harvest.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why the Family Guy version of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's called Blue Harvest.
Well, that's
like we talked about. When
think
we
about it like
did,
this. Like, look at The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's a stupid fucking name for a movie, but it's a badass movie.
Well, and that was what the novel was.
I know,
called,
but it's a stupid name though. The Running Man.
It was the name of the
show. Yeah, the game
which
show.
is it's a game show, so it makes sense.
I don't know. I just thought it was a dumb name for a badass action.
It's
movie.
a fucking game show.
It
makes sense. A game show is stupid. Like game show names.
There's a lot of
stupid.
there's a lot of badly named movies that end up being good movies. You can't judge a movie on its.
No, my point is that it's being named for the game show, and game shows usually their names usually.
Maybe
sound
they should have
stupid.
called the movie Jeopardy Man.
That's not the name of the show, though.
It could be.
Why?
Why not?
Jeopardy's a real game show.
I'm just saying.
And
sounds cooler.
His titles make no sense. He makes no sense. None. Originally the movie was supposed to be released around Christmas in 1976, but it was held up after the decision to add the radioactive skies and special effects, pushing the release to December.
Another 20 minutes.
Pushing the release to December of 1977. However, this would have made it conflict with Close Encounters of the Third Kind, so it was pushed to October of 1977. And Jan, I think that's how you say his name, Jan, the actor. I don't think it's Jan, but Jan Michael Vincent did most of his motorcycle stunts. I thought that was neat, because usually actors won't.
You know who he looked like? He looks like James Marsden.
Kinda.
That's what I thought. I was like, man, you look like James Marsden. Like, I was trying to recast the entire cast while I was watching it. James Marsden was my pick for him.
Did you notice that the guy who was the general who was in the building when they were doing the bombs was a guy, like a big actor? I don't know his name, but I know I've seen him in lots of other movies.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
Oh, I know you're. Yeah.
He's
I've seen him in other shit. But like, I was trying to recast the entire cast, and like James Marsden was my pick for that dude. And then, what's her name from Westworld and Across the Universe? Rachel. Well, she was in the Weird Al movie. She played Madonna.
Oh,
Rachel
Evan Wood.
Rachel Evan Wood. She'd have been a good one for the girl.
Yeah, but they would have to flesh her out a lot more because she should
for
have
sure.
a bigger role.
Yeah. And then I was trying to like pinpoint a good one for the Major, which I was kind of going with
Liam Neeson.
Yes, exactly. Liam Neeson. Or like Liam Neeson maybe, like, or something like that, you know. Somebody a little rough around the edges a little bit, you know. The kid? Oh man, I don't know, because I don't know a lot of kid actors.
There aren't I don't know really many kid actors right now. They're not really a big deal.
Yeah. I don't.
And then what about? But then there's the black guy. What was his name? Who would you recast for him?
The Rock.
The Rock.
I was just saying.
I'm thinking somebody more like Forrest Whitaker. Maybe Forrest Whitaker.
No.
He's too old. Yeah, he's kind of old now.
Denzel Washington.
No,
you'd have to go with a younger guy because in the movie he was a younger guy.
Maybe Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
I was thinking that guy too, but I don't know because he seems so serious.
But you know what they would do? They would race swap people, and the main character would be like the badass would be a woman.
You know who they could
the major would be black or Mexican, and the white guy would have to die.
Michael B. Jordan.
No, because he's too badass.
Yeah,
he's too buff.
He's not gonna get killed by the bugs.
So I don't know, man. That'd be a tough pick, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe not Jordan Peele. Keegan Michael Key.
No, he's not serious enough.
He can be.
I've never seen him be serious.
I'm trying to think. When have I ever seen him be serious? He was. Well, no, he was even funny in Predators.
That's funny. he can be serious. When have I ever seen him be serious?
Yeah,
he could do it.
I mean, I'd like to see him try. I would.
Yeah.
I like it when they step outside of their comfort zone.
Well, maybe make that character more of a comical character.
No,
like a
I liked his.
Did you notice he had an upside down flag on his jacket?
Because you know, one of my favorite characters in Day of the Dead. That's like my favorite zombie movie. Is the two guys that weren't they weren't military anymore.
Oh yeah.
The guys that were like living in the cave or whatever, because of like the philosophies and stuff that they adopted. Like they'll help.
Yeah.
And they're
all about survival. And
they're helpful, and they're all about being
but
part
I'm not
of
gonna
helping
be told what
and
to do is the end of the world.
Yeah, like you're not gonna.
The hierarchy has fallen.
Yeah,
like
I love that they had this camper in the cave, and we'll help you, and we'll
get along, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but we're not part of this anymore. Like I love that.
And I would be the same way.
That's what I got from the black guy and Tanner was that,
which was good dynamic.
You,
that's why I was like, why would you kill him off?
Yeah.
I didn't understand. Like, why would you kill him off?
He was the only one that I felt like was a good. Like he was the only one I cared about.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He was the only one I cared about.
He was a good character. He was, like I didn't realize it until
he was a man with a lot of
he was a really good error.
He was the only one that was fleshed out.
Yeah, he was fleshed out. He had a lot more depth.
Because and when you say he was the only one that because Tanner threw that girl off, and he's like, you got to go back for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can understand.
He was the only one that was really fleshed out in any sort of way. I was kind of irritated, like, you're just going to kill him off by a bunch of fucking roaches?
Right.
Like, he was getting attacked in the car by the roaches, like, oh, he'll get out of that.
Right, I thought
But then
so
he opens
too.
the door and he's just dead. I was like, really?
I thought he was going to get out of it, too, with some battle wounds, but I didn't think that basically...
Right, I knew he was injured, but I didn't think he was going to fucking die.
I thought so, too.
I thought he was going to be one of the guys that made it to the end.
Yeah,
but
I thought the Major was going to die.
At one point in time when, as time went on, I'm like, it's been too long.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Well, then, like, the Major, they fleshed him out a little bit, but not much. But then they made him kind of lighten up a little bit as the movie went on.
Well, it's like they never really discussed about how, like, why he hated Tanner so much, or...
No, he was just trying to get him out of the military. I put in for a transfer or whatever because we just don't mesh well together. Like, for what reason?
Yeah, the only one that they fleshed out and made his character make any sense at all was the black guy.
Yeah,
and they kill him off. And then the two guys that we're supposed to understand and get to know, you don't know shit about. You don't tell me why they hate each other. You don't give me any.
It took me a minute
Did he fuck
to even,
his wife? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it took me a minute to even realize that was his old partner.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hold on. I was like, but he's got longer hair now and he's not wearing the hat. I'm like, oh, that's the guy from the beginning.
Well, I always went by it as the reason I didn't get that because the Major was straight laced.
Yeah.
All military, and then when he talks to the guy, the other guy goes, I don't know why he joined the military. To me, that's basically saying that, he's straight-laced and he don't like this guy because this guy is kind of using the military as just
he's kind of just like a loose,
now.
He's just a kind of fly.
Okay, but you base a sitcom off of that, not an entire character development.
Right, and an hour and a half movie.
Yeah. Okay, Alan Sharp was he was one of the screenwriters for the film. He wanted a much darker ending for the film and actually fought for it, but obviously he lost. And instead of special effects, the footage was lifted from other movies for the explosion scenes.
Duh. I noticed that right away.
But they were the explosion scenes that they were taken from was a movie called Operation Crossbow and Tidal Wave Earthquake.
Sweet.
Wait, the movie was called Tidal Wave?
Tidal Wave
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Okay. Because I thought maybe you were calling
it just because of that.
So we can point out those special effects. Like, there it is.
No, it's called Tidal Wave Earthquake.
I thought
that's amazing right there.
That's why I had to ask, because I thought you were saying it was Tidal Wave and Earthquake. Like two different movies.
No.
Tidal Wave Earthquake.
Nope, same movie. And then just for shits and giggles, the Landmaster was never damaged during production, not even once, and it could only go 55 miles an hour.
Not 60?
Not
60. He said 60 in the fucking movie.
Nope, he was a liar, just
He's
like
a
Joe Bob.
fucking liar, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's all I got for trivia.
Well, and Joseph. Joseph's a liar, too, because remember, there wasn't no news, but then there was.
There was no news, but then there was.
He likes to do that,
Okay, now we're on track with what we're doing next week. So we got this game that we have to play with Joseph. And guys, I guess I'll say at the end of the video. Because it's my last show.
Yeah, it's Matt's last show. We'll get there. All right, so you guys gonna do the game? Let's do the game.
Okay, so is it sci-fi?
No.
Is it action?
Yes.
Is
I don't
it? Is
have
it?
to watch
Is it?
I feel like I should have waited on this movie, but well, fuck it.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late.
Shit.
It's Chuck Norris
I
in
had
it.
a question.
No.
Is there an airplane?
No.
Because if there was an airplane, I want to know if there's snakes.
I don't think there's an airplane. No, there's no. Well, no, there's no snakes.
Is it Japanese?
Nope.
Is there a doggy?
I don't think there's any dogs in the movie.
What about cats?
No, definitely no cats.
Goldfish?
Nope, no goldfish.
Birdies?
Maybe somewhere?
I'm sure there's birds. They're outside at any point in time. The odds are.
Yeah, there's going to be a bird somewhere.
Trees? Trees? Are there trees?
No.
Are there killer trees?
No.
Because then the happening.
That's not true. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Those trees weren't killers.
They were killing a lot of orcs.
They were good though. They
Yeah, but they were still killing orcs.
They were no. Those weren't tree. Those weren't killing tree. Those were warrior trees.
Warrior trees.
So the only difference between killer and warrior is what they're killing?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Warriors because they're killing orcs.
Got it. I just wanted to make
No,
sure my
they're
definition was
warrior.
correct.
They're warriors because they're fighting in a battle. Because it's the
Okay, well, I think we're getting a little off subject here. And no, there's no orcs in this
Is it a
movie.
revenge movie?
No.
Damn.
Is there a lady in it?
Yes.
Of course.
That wasn't even like a. Is the lady a serious? Like, is she a big role in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Is she the hero?
One of them.
Okay.
How many heroes are there?
I would say two main heroes.
Aeon Flux.
No.
Damn.
Good one though.
Resident Evil.
No.
You know, I got every one of those movies.
Is it
sorry.
a
I didn't buy them. I only bought the last one.
early 2000s?
No. It's newer than that.
Okay.
Is it full of woke propaganda?
No. Fucking woke propaganda.
He's gonna make the best of it. Oh shit. Newer.
Like, oh well, no, it has to be like 2020 new.
No, probably like 2000. Fuck, I don't even know what year, honestly. Hold on, let me look up the year real quick. Keep asking questions.
I'm trying to think of like, is it are they well-known actors? Like, are
Yes.
they? It's a
Yes.
actors. Okay,
Yes.
so, is it Brad Pitt?
No, 2015.
Is it that new? Is it that new Knives Out movie?
No, 2015. This one.
Okay, well, I didn't hear that before I asked the question.
I literally said it right before you asked the question.
Well, I wasn't paying attention. You know how good my listening is.
Apparently. Apparently, just to me, you don't listen at all. Would you just
No,
stop
I listen.
talking?
Or when he does listen, he wants you to stop talking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. Like I said, I love you, but sometimes you just keep going. And you know, it's only been this time. It's like I guess I'm leaving, so it gives me an okay to be mean to you.
Okay.
Well, Matt's on the do not invite back list.
Oh.
No, what it is because last week you said, oh yeah, because you got to tell who's taking over too.
I will. We'll get there.
But last week you also said that I never used my whip back, so
There you go.
Is I don't know why she keeps bumping in my head, but Charlize Theron in it.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I don't. Man.
is it Fury Road?
Yes.
I might watch that just because. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I was kind of like going through my movies. I'm like, I'm gonna watch one of my movies, and I was
I've
like,
never seen Mad Max, right?
you've never seen like any of them, or
Any
just
of
this
them.
one?
That was one of that when we first found out when we were first doing this. I said I was going to do Mad Max, and then she said that she told Jeremiah she would never watch any of the Mad Max
No,
movies.
I never said
So
I would
said-
never. I just fuck with him because he was like, you have to watch.
He's gonna be
these," and I'm
happy now
like,
then.
"Nah."
So,
I
yeah,
probably won't.
So it'll make you happy to know that you don't have to watch any of the other Mad Max movies to watch this. one.
But you should.
Yeah, I know.
You should.
Yeah,
So
I
it
do
has
know that.
like there's
You-
continuity.
you
It's not
should.
there. So
You should.
you should watch.
I know
them,
I
though.
should.
They're good movies.
At this point in time, it's
But
just
Fury
digging
Road.
my heels in.
I don't care what anybody says about Mel Gibson or whatever, dude. Fury Road is by far the best one.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's
I'm-
a good one, but the originals are good too.
Sure, they're
Charlize
good,
Theron
yeah.
is another one of my girl crushes.
Yeah,
I'm in love with
and
her.
they're actually coming out with a.
She's my classy. Girl
They're actually coming
crush.
out with a spin-off movie of her.
Yeah,
But not with
Furiosa.
Charlize Theron. It's going to be Anya Taylor-Joy.
You know, I got a comic book on Fury Road, and it tells how she met the wives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, next week will be Mad Max Fury Road from 2015. So
That was made in 2015.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember when the movie came out, I was like, yeah, that don't look too bad. Then I watched it, I was like, that fucking movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna like. I promise you're gonna like.
I
it.
know I'm gonna like it. I know I'd like all of them. It just at this
This
point,
is-
it's just a. I'm just digging my heels in. But now I have to.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. Jeremiah won.
He did.
I was gonna.
Thanks a lot, Joseph.
I was going to choose the original Mad Max because I got something to talk about, like the fact that when he's leaving his house, that his kid is playing with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, the original's really wild. Like, how it starts out and what you get to eventually with Mad Max. It's it's weird. Because he lives in a nice house with his family, and he's like, essentially
It's
a road
because
warrior cop.
the war hits after.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, next week will be Mad Max Fury Road, and Karen, you want to announce who's going to be taking over for Sir Matthew?
Yeah. So. as
Wait,
we've-
I'm a sir.
You are today.
I've been knighted.
Yeah, you've been knighted since it's your last episode. You've been knighted. So as we've announced, Matt's leaving, and next week, my brother Eric is going to start recording with us. So Eric, you got to watch Mad Max Fury Road if you haven't already, but you have to watch it again.
Yeah, you always watch it before the podcast and take notes. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Whether you've seen it a month ago, a week ago, you gotta watch it and take notes. It's just it's the easiest way to do it. So it's what we do.
Yep.
And because we want to be fresh on the movie and we want to take all.
And
the
trust me,
I'll probably text you after this too.
trust me,
Let you
Eric.
know.
So you'll get a text, and then you'll be
Probably
reminded of
listen.
it whenever you listen to this, of the text that I sent you prior to this.
And then Eric, also trust me, I got something to tell you. This is what I've learned. After about 2 or 3 weeks of doing this, you'll never watch any movie the same.
No, you'll never watch another movie the same. Especially like taking notes on, like you think, oh, I've seen that movie before, I'm good. No, whenever you watch it with the intent of taking notes on it and to critique the movie, you see it in a whole other light.
It's true.
So weird.
And then
It's
even
so weird.
And even if you're just watching just a movie and you've been doing this for a while, you'll be like, yeah, I would definitely have to write that down.
Yeah.
Just parts of it, because I've seen things that I.
Because at first, Matt was 100% against taking notes. He didn't
was.
want to. I'm not taking notes. That's dumb. And then what was it, for Doomsday? You're like, I took notes on this.
It's because I don't have a good memory, man. I have to write down what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, it was like episode 1. He was like, "We don't need notes," and then you and I were talking like mad crazy, and he was like, "I need notes."
I need to take
So like episode 2, he
Yeah.
did take notes.
So he went and took notes on Doomsday. And he's
It's
like,
because Doomsday, I really wanted to talk about the cows. Why is that by eating people? They're clearly cows.
Yes. I
That was my
remember that.
big one with that movie.
I didn't understand that either. There's a whole lot of beef out there, man.
Yeah, that's we had an entire discussion about it.
I
Yep.
didn't get it either. I didn't understand it. They'd rather
I
eat
still
people,
don't.
I guess.
I still don't.
I guess people have more nutrition, I suppose.
No, they don't. They clearly don't. You see how skinny those people
Oh,
were?
shit, man. Especially the main guy.
Yeah.
And
they
also,
could,
I'm sorry, but beef tastes a lot better than pork. And what I'm saying is, yes, I have read that people.
I was gonna
taste
say
like
I've
pork.
tried people and it tastes like pork.
Well, and also
we're also in a lot of different things that have eaten meat. We're called long pig.
and I'm just gonna throw out there that there is actually a scientific reason you don't eat people meat.
It makes you sick.
And yeah, it can give you. It starts with a K, curry, something like that. It like eventually it'll go to your head and like it'll
It makes you go crazy.
Yeah, it makes you go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what was it? Whenever they were feeding pig to pig, was that swine flu?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
how
that's how the swine
flu
flu developed. Yeah.
and all
There's
that,
a reason
so,
you don't
yeah.
eat your own.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
A natural nature's reason you don't do it.
You know, in the Book of Eli, they show people shaking. Like, when he walks in that place and he goes, "Let me see your hands," and he goes, "I'm not one of them," I thought he was looking for, like, a missing finger. Didn't realize until, like,
He was looking for the cannibals.
He was looking for the shaking, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
oh, because cannibals shake.
Yeah, the people, because that's
That's
how he
one of the
noticed
first
those
signs of that.
shaking.
That's how
yeah.
he noticed those people were the people in the house that they were talking to, 8 people, is because they were shaking.
Yeah. Anyway, so Eric will be taking over next week. So watch Mad Max Fury Road.
Yep. Matt, you want to say your goodbyes to everybody?
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody, goodbye. You know, I had a good time doing this. It is a bummer that I won't see you guys every week.
You want to tell them why?
Oh yeah, the church that I want to go to has opened up, and it's close to me, and I want to start going to church and being part of the church, because I feel that's what I need to do, and I have been wanting to do it for a while, and I found a church that's close to me, and it's non-denominational. And so now I'm just hoping it's not one of those progressive churches nowadays that, you know, they're more into politics and stuff than actually following the Bible.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, I want to get more involved with the church and stuff. So
you heard it right there. And we tried to work, but it's hard for me and Karen because we work and our schedules just work out for Wednesdays for us to record, and it sucks because Matt wants to do he wants to go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. Mm-hmm. And that's understandable. My mother-in-law goes to church every Wednesday. Well, I think they changed it to Thursdays, but she also still goes on Sundays also. And so
what we're saying is we get it.
Yeah, we get it 100%.
It's fine. We get it. We understand it.
Like I said, it sucks, but we tried to work it out, and there's no other day that they can do it. So, you know, I will try to make it every once in a while, though. But, you know, sometimes there's things that you have to do that are more important than other things you want to do. So.
Yep. Sometimes what you need to do, what you feel you need to do, are more important than what you want to do.
Sure. We get
but
it.
I have had a fun time doing this, and like I've always liked when Joseph was doing videos. I like doing those too. Which was funny because I always thought, you know, I was never going to be one of those guys that was into doing videos or podcasts and anything. But I do enjoy it. It's a good time.
Okay. Well, and on that note, I wanted to spit out a few more things. I forgot to tell everybody we did start a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. All of our everything that we record will be video on YouTube. Alita Battle Angel actually has 100, as of before this podcast, 157 views in just under a week.
And a few hours ago, it had 147.
Yeah, so it's quickly rising. Like, it just keeps going up. It's insane how many views that is getting. I'm baffled by it.
Like I say, I think it's the people that are into the manga.
I think it is too. Yeah. And also, you know, and we also have. I started a Facebook. You just look up the Bonsai Movie Crew. You'll find us. Same as the YouTube Bonsai Movie Crew. We're probably gonna we're talking about shutting down the Twitter. We may not shut it down, but just maybe use it a little less.
Yeah.
But we're gonna work on some other things to kind of get the word out there. But if you could please share with your friends. Tell them about the YouTube if you want. I prefer everybody listen to the podcast. But if there's no way that you can do that and you just want to listen to us on YouTube, that's fine too. Do that.
And you know, like, you can reach out to us on Facebook.
For sure.
You know,
if you message us,
like,
we're gonna message you back.
Yeah, like, reach out to us. Tell us, you know, why does Facebook work better, or why does YouTube work better? What, you know.
Mm-hmm. Or if you have questions or snarky remarks, or Even if
You
you want
can
to
tell us to fuck off. I don't
yeah,
care.
I mean, or maybe you feel like you have a better casting idea for the movie we just watched.
Yeah.
You know, tell us. We don't care, dude. We'll interact with you. We don't mind at all.
Nope.
100%. Like we are not hateful people in any way. We will always respond with kindness. But anyway, on that note, Matt, for your final show, dude, sign us out.
Okay, everybody. We're going to all do it at once.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
1,
Cowabunga.
2, 3.
Okay, bye.
Bye!